is Farm Sim Talk with BDD. Let's roll.
Out here in the country, where the roads run wide, there's a world behind the pixels that we're bringing to the light. From maps to mods, to the rigs we drive, we're talking to the folks who keep this farm life alive. It's Farm Sim Talk with BDD. Come pull up a chair and ride along with me. Stories from the makers, the builders of the scene. Farm Sim Talk, where we live the farming dream. He's got questions rolling like a big John Deere, digging deep with modders so their voices we can hear. From giants of the code to the artists painting skies, he's shining up their stories like a brand new combine. It's Farm Sim Talk with BDD. Come pull up a chair and ride along with me. Stories from the makers, the builders of the scene. Farm Sim Talk, where we live the farming dream. From tractors to textures, from silos to sounds, there's a whole crew of heroes making this world go round. So tune in and find out who's behind the screen. Farm Sim Talk's the place to see what farming really means. It's Farm Sim Talk with BDD. Come pull up a chair and ride along with me. Stories from the makers, the builders of the scene. Farm Sim Talk, where we live the farming dream.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Day Dave, and this is Farm Sim Talk, a show where we get to talk to other creators here in the farm sim community, get to find out a little bit more about them. Today, I am joined here by Boganery. Boganery, how are you doing here tonight?
Doing fantastic, mate. It's just past lunchtime here, so I'm officially allowed to do this. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, chat.
Oh, gotta at least get past the noon hour before you start cracking into those, but gotta love it.
And not bad at it.
Nothing bad about it whatsoever. So, how about you tell us where we can all find you?
Well, we got the tavern started up thanks to Fafo logging, Doc in chat. So, yeah, head over to Discord and, of course, YouTube. It's the link just down below.
Excellent, excellent. And do you want to give any shout outs before we get going?
Yeah. Oh, there's so many. But we'll stick to 3. And we'll go Doc at Fafo logging there. He's down in the chat. We'll go Just Joe, who's out working, I believe, right now. And Wild Coach, the man, the myth, the legend, the potato farmer.
Excellent, excellent. Real quick, want to
And
give
of
some.
course yourself. So don't forget all of my crew. Make sure you subscribe to Big Daddy here and leave him a like. Give him a thumbs up.
I greatly appreciate that. Thank you so very much. And same goes for you. Everybody here, go check out Boganery's channel and give him a follow as well. So a couple quick shout outs here. I see a bunch of y'all in chat. We got Rocket Scientist, Dust Bunny. How are you two doing today? Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. Dirty D, how's it going? Fafo Logging, how's it going? Hope you're having a great one as well. We got Pippa. How you doing, Pippa? Hope you're having a great one. MacGyver. We got, who else we got here? Unknown Device. Always Alfredo. Lisa, how is everybody doing tonight? Hope you're having a fantastic evening so far. So what do you say we go ahead and get into our first segment? We call it Digging Up Dirt. This is where we get to know who you are outside of the YouTube sphere. So first question I got for you is, do you have a job outside of creating content, or is that your primary job?
It has been for the last 2 years. But before that, I was an SLSO, helping kids with autism make it through classes. And before that, during that, working on farms as a farmhand. I was a farm manager at a thoroughbred stud for a little while. And now doing poultry out here on my little 25 acres in the hills. So, but I do have a new job starting up, actually. I'm going to be a fire tower watch operator. A fire watch tower operator. There we go.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. So I'll be sitting up the top, up in the air, and with my binoculars and spying on all of you.
So what you're saying is we can't go out just all free as the day we were born out there in the middle of the woods out there in Australia is what you're telling me.
I'll be watching, especially Doc. He's up to no good if he's out there.
Uh-oh. No good, no good. Oh, man. So a Firewatch operator. So what happens if you like spot something like that? Do you just got to call like the fire department and they go out and they take care of it, or?
Yeah. So it's part of the New South Wales state government. So it's all sort of linked up. But yeah, basically I see smoke on the hills. You know, g'day fellas, Sunny Corner Tower. There's smoke over here at northwest, this degree, approximately this far away. You better get out here. And then they'll hopefully come out and put the fire out. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting job.
And you mentioned that you have a 25-acre farm. What all do you raise out there?
So just chickens and geese, and I've got a overpaid lawnmower around here somewhere. A horse, he might pop up in the background. Don't ride him anymore. He's getting too old, but he's floating around here somewhere. And then just veggie gardens and things like that. So.
Okay. So do you try to do like what do they call it? Like the homesteading? Is that kind of what you're doing there, or?
Yep. So the whole point, moving out away from, because we were always on the edge of town, but yeah, I wanted to get my family out. This was just before COVID, so I saw a bit of the writing on the wall, and then I end up biting the bullet and getting this place, and it was the best decision we ever made. It's a bit of, I call it the excuse the word, but shit shack. It's not a very good house, but it's worth it in the end. It's ours. We can just sort of veer towards that getting off grid and at least have a bit of self-sufficiency and able to go hunting and have our own food and things like that. So yeah, it's been good.
Well, I tell you what, I can certainly appreciate that, because I was in the heart of the city, before this, and ended up moving up north and got out of the city myself. I'm certainly not on 25 acres like you are, but would definitely call that home very quickly, personally. The wife, on the other hand, she would kind of miss the little hustle and bustle of the city. Every once in a while she wants to go and, go shopping and all that stuff. But me personally, I can live without all that stuff.
yeah, it's the same with mine too. It took her quite a while to adjust to being a country girl. Uh, but she loves it now and wouldn't go back. So it's been good.
Well, and that's the thing is, once you finally get out into the country, especially if you're like in the city and whatnot, you never realize just how freeing it is until you're finally out. Even if you're on like the
Absolutely.
outskirts, like I used to tell my wife all the time, it's like every time I'd left the house before we moved, I was angry. I was always mad
Mm.
about something, whether it was, traffic getting to the store, whether it was people at the store, whether it was, I mean, anything, pretty much anything and everything. The homeless people that were at
Yep.
the store kind of thing, just sitting there begging and like I couldn't take my kids to the grocery store of all places without passing by 3 or 4 homeless people, having to walk literally over them because they're set up shop right on the walkway kind of thing.
Yep.
So it's like I
And
would be
that's something I really noticed was I was very much the same. I like coming from I'm a musician and playing heavy metal. Everything was like doom and gloom, but to get that anxiety out. But then since moving out into the country in the middle of nowhere, before I had that not hatred, but you know that view of people. Now, because I never see anyone, I have that view of I value people more. I've found. So when we're not all crammed together, living in the small place and house, you know, we get along a lot better. That's what I've found anyway.
and I don't know if it's
That's one
this
good
I don't know if it's the same way in Australia, but when I lived in the city, everybody was just so mean and ornery. Like everybody
thing.
was just like, basically leave me alone. The whole time they were just
Yep.
like we were all on top of each other, but they were just like they never interacted with each other. It was almost like you were a leper. It's like if you even showed even a smile to somebody, they'd be like, "Ew, what's going on there?" But moving out into the country, when I go out to the store or whatever, I might do, everybody is just so welcoming, so inviting, and they're so kind. I don't know if it's the
Mhm.
same way with like where you're at there, but I would imagine it'd be pretty similar.
I think it's human condition. That's got to be the human condition. When you're living too close together, you fight and you bicker about things that aren't really important. And then when you're far apart, you realise that those things don't matter, and you sort of chill out a bit. And those that were got you so mad before are now just like, oh, you got a bit more understanding. So that's what I found about it. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. No, that makes total sense to me. So tell me, what are some of your hobbies? You mentioned hunting earlier. What kind of things do you go hunting for?
Do a lot of pig shooting, uh, rabbits. Got a bit of a rabbit plague at the moment, so I'm on the 22 almost every day, um, plinking away. And then we got some wild deer in the area. We got to get some fresh venison, uh, put in the freezer. We'll go do that, and then other than that, just like trying to protect the chooks and the geese. So if we get wild dogs or foxes, um, they're in the crosshairs as well. So, cats, wild cats. A lot of Americans that I speak to are pretty shocked when they find out that we shoot cats here, and it's not like it's Tippy in your or little Ginger in your house. These are wild cats. And they're mean suckers who kill a lot of animals. So
Mm-hmm.
they're feral, obviously. So yeah, that's about it. Other hobbies, I write. I write novels, play music, guitar, and all that sort of thing. So other than that, just drink beer. That's pretty typical Australian hobby. So yeah.
Okay, so you writing, what you write novels? What kind of stuff do you write?
Uh, well, I'm a bit of a history nerd, so I wrote one for none published. They're always never quite done, you know. But I do it for fun more than anything. But I did a Viking novel, Old Norse novel, and then working on one at the moment, which is about sort of apocalypse scenario. So, and we'll look at it as it done. One day they'll see the light of day, but yeah, it's more cathartic than anything.
Okay. And earlier you mentioned venison, stocking up the freezer with some venison. So one of the stories that I like to tell is the first time that my wife tried venison, because she was a city girl, and she had never tried venison before she had met me. And my mom, when she was alive, uh, we had told her, it's like, oh yeah, she's never tried venison before. Well, we were down here in Florida, and my mom decided one day that she was wanting to invite her over for dinner, and she was going to cook her venison without telling her about it. So she made a big old pot of spaghetti, and I mean, we call it this particular kind, we call it goulash, and
Oh yeah.
and we made a big old pot of goulash, and so we served it up, and we're sitting there eating, and it's like, oh man, it was so good. And my wife, she's taking a big old bite, and she's like, oh my goodness, this is delicious, all this type of stuff. And my mother looks at her, and she's like, do you know what you're eating? And she's like, yeah, I'm eating spaghetti. It's like, no, sweetie, no, you're eating venison. She's like, and she kind of gets this little look on her face. She's like, wait, and she didn't recognize the term venison. And I'm like, sweetie, you're eating Bambi. And the look on her face is like, this confusion shifts into like, like almost like deep thought. She's like, you know what? Bambi tastes good. And she just
That's the
continued.
kind of reaction that you want.
Oh, and that's when I knew I had to keep her. That's when I knew it's like, okay,
Yeah.
a little bit of time, we can get her into the lifestyle here.
For sure. How about
But
yourself, mate? What other hobbies you into?
oh, I mean, me
Other than
personally,
yourself?
I mean, I like to go hunting, fishing. I love to watch sports. As a matter of fact, my Detroit Red Wings are getting their butts whooped right now, 5-1. So I'm kind of disappointed about that. But no, just yeah, just like to either get outside or stay inside, away from the world when I can. So, and spend time with my wife and kids. So,
100%.
but what about sports? Are you into sports?
No, I never really was. I think it was because I was never any good at it. So,
Okay.
like, I played in, football teams and things like that. I did soccer and cricket we have over here, but I just was never very good at it. I sort of picked up the guitar pretty early on and found out I was a bit better at that. So I stuck more to music than sport.
And you said that you were into
But
like heavy metal. Is that what I understand?
yeah, yeah, I used to play in heavy metal bands and go out gigging in the big city and all that sort of thing. Good times, wild times. But
Anything that we would have heard by chance?
no, we did some EPs. We did a bit of recording, but nothing that you'd know of. Didn't get big with that side of thing, but we had a pretty good following in Sydney for a while. Sort of a core group of people, and then yeah, we just sort of got sick of traveling and setting up, because like when you're setting up for a gig in the middle of the city and there's no parking and you got to unload, front of house and drum kits and big guitar amps and things like that, you get pretty sick of it.
Oh,
So
it's a ton of work. Actually, my father, he was in a rock band way back in the day, and he was telling me like all the stuff and prep and all that stuff that you have to go through in order to just get one show set up is ridiculous. I mean, the equipment alone is a nightmare to deal with. But then, you've got to do the soundboards, and you got to like get everything all tuned up just right, at this venue. Things can sound different at each and every venue, so you got to tweak it just so. Like it's a
exactly right.
lot.
And even if you got a room full of people versus it's empty and you're playing to one punter, so there's your sound difference right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's
And
it's one of those where you got to be able to account for all that kind of stuff, and it's it's nuts the amount of effort it goes into it. You know, it's not something that you take on lightly, kind of thing. You know, you're putting in long hours, not just in like the in front of the scene, like what everybody witnesses. There's tons of stuff that happens behind the scenes too. Uh, One of my friends, well, very early on when I moved down here to Florida, he was in a band, and it was one of those where he was kind of in the rock scene, and he was going through all the different venues around town and whatnot. And this is actually when I was living up there in Georgia for a couple of years, and he would go to the venues around there. He was telling me all the stuff that he would do, and it's like, wow, like okay, it's not the kind of life I would be into, but hey, more the
yeah, well,
merrier, I
when
guess.
you're actually on, oops, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you, mate.
No, go ahead.
So yeah, I would say the being on the stage and playing is probably 1%. The rest is the 99. 99% for that. If you get an hour set to play, a 2 hour set, that's when you get to really bring the energy and put it out. And yeah, all of the rest of it is the prep work, the traveling, the tuning, the practicing, the rehearsals, everything. So,
One of the coolest things that he got to do, uh, like I said, we were in Georgia, and we went to oh, for goodness sakes, I can't remember the venue, but what I remember about it is that it was essentially broken up. It was an old decommissioned grain mill, and in the grain mill they had three separate levels on it, and the venue named them. They named it Heaven was the upstairs venue, Purgatory was the middle venue, and then Hell was the bottom venue. And they got to play in the Heaven venue, and when they played in there, they were actually opening for a band called Crossfade, um, which I mean they're pretty well known here in the states, but one of those where it was a really good concert. They got to open for them, and it was tons and tons of fun.
yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we had something similar. We had a place called Venom in the city in Sydney, and you had the three levels. And quite often you'd have the DJs up top, like the dance sort of music, and in the middle was the pub, like the main sort of bar area where you'd have like classic pub rock sort of playing, and then downstairs was Venom, and that was where all the heavy metal bands played and things like that. So
Oh, very
thing you
cool.
got to watch for when you get a bunch of drunk Australian heavy metal people is we like to take over the whole place. So that happens well, peacefully, but you're not going to be playing Celine Dion on the jukebox when you've got a room full of metalheads, Metallica or Aussie, rest in peace, Motorhead. That's what's going to get blasted at full volume.
Oh, yeah, I could totally see that. It's one of those where you certainly can't expect to go soft, especially when you're talking like a heavy metal venue kind of thing. It's you're
Yeah.
going hard or you're going home kind of thing.
Oh yeah, and you're going home with bruises.
Yeah, yeah.
Their shows get wild, mate. I'll tell you, they were good fun.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it whatsoever. So, what kind of movies are you into?
Movies. Oh, I'm not a big movie fan. Like, I seem to know a lot about movies, probably more than I seem. But you know what I really love? It's like old Leslie Nielsen comedies. Where they
Oh,
deliver it real dry, and then the comedy's like just dad jokes, things like that. The old Adam Sandler movies.
we can be
Comedy,
friends.
man.
We can be friends.
Yeah, we could be friends. Hell
Oh,
yeah.
oh man, Leslie
Have-
Nielsen. Wow, was he so good? So good.
He was, yeah. And
One of
even
my,
like, when we're talking comedians like Rodney Dangerfield, those
mm,
sorts of guys.
yep,
Uh,
yep.
or McDonald, rest in peace. Guys like that.
Oh,
Yeah, how
absolutely.
about yourself?
Oh, I'm the same exact way. I mean, I don't watch a lot of movies here lately. Pretty much mm, post like 2015 ish in that time frame is when I kind of just fell off the whole movie scene. Seemed like it was less about the entertainment and more about the message kind of
Okay.
thing. So I just kind of left
Yep.
it in my dust. But
Yeah. How about this? What's your favourite all-time movie? And chat as well. Let's see. What favourite all-time movie? Chat. Let's go. And what do you reckon, Dave?
oh,
What's your
m- man, mine it's got to be Star Wars. I'm a big Star Wars
so?
guy.
Yep.
What about you?
Hmm. Well, if I got to say movie, uh, it's going to be a bit left field, but I reckon that the third Die Hard with Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce
With a
Willis,
Vengeance.
I think
Nice.
I think we could probably quote that movie word for word. It's amazing, actually.
Oh, such a good
But if I was
movie.
going to say, God, it is, Dave. If I was going to say books, I'm the biggest Lord of the Rings nerd you've ever met. So
Oh,
I'm up.
okay. You know what, man?
Uh,
I don't know how this has happened, but somehow we were separated at birth cuz uh tell you what, I love Lord of the Rings. I love the books, I love the movie. Uh yeah, fantastic. Fantastic stuff. I mean, it's just so much going on in them.
yeah. Oh, it's the best. Tolkien was the best writer ever.
Oh.
So that's a big call. But yeah, big
So
Tolkien fan. I spent
oh
a
yeah.
lot of time. If when I get time to watch YouTube, I don't even get too much anymore. But I'm like nerding out on in-depth Tolkien theories and trying to find out like the stuff that I may have missed and things like that. So even in that. So I'm a big Tolkien nerd, and most of my crew already knows it. I carry on with it a bit.
Oh, I'm right there with you, man. We could have some pretty good talks about it. So let me ask you this: what's some of the oddest or weirdest books, movies, music, whatever? What's some of the weirdest stuff that you've come across in your lifetime?
Weirdest. You ever heard of that?
I missed it. What was it?
Bad Boy Bubby, Australian cinema. It's pretty weird. Have you ever seen that?
No, I haven't heard of that one.
That's a weird one. Write that one down, you guys. Bad Boy Bubby, and I apologise in advance. But yeah, Australian cinema is pretty out there, dude. So another good movie I always talk about. This is actually a good movie with Eric Bana, called Chopper. And everyone, like a lot of, because most of my crew is American, and I love America, but you guys, you think that we're like Crocodile Dundee, more like that sort of thing, when reality, Australia is far more like Chopper Reed. That's like some in that movie you really see like I've sat in houses exactly like that, and with drug addicts and violent criminals and things like that, and that's Australia. So if you want to see a really good Australian movie, Chopper with Eric Bana.
Okay, that actually
That's pretty weird.
leads me to my next question. You kind of made a pretty good segue there. You know, I'm actually rather impressed that you and I are actually able to have this conversation here today because I was under the impression that, you know, basically everything in Australia woke up one day and decided to choose violence. That's basically how I understood it between the crocodiles, the snakes, the spiders, the pretty much anything and everything, the kangaroos, like pretty much everything
Uh-huh.
out there is designed to hurt you. So
Yep.
like I said, I'm shocked that that you're even alive.
Evolution is a crazy thing. Australia was so separated from everything else for such a long period of time. We got this really weird evolution pattern. And because humans arrived here, the Aboriginals arrived here about 60,000 years ago. Everything since then has developed like pure hatred of humanity, right? Because our Aboriginal crew, they're not afraid to eat anything. Those guys, everything's on the menu, and so it should be. And a lot of it tastes really good. A lot of it tastes like shit. But everything here hates humans because of it. So yeah, if it's not venomous, it's got big teeth. If it hasn't got big teeth, it'll stomp you into the ground or something, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's a pretty crazy place to live. It's not as bad as what people think. No, I think we kind of got a bum rap with a lot of it. Like, if you'll never see a snake in the middle of the city, or you'll never see a kangaroo in the middle of the city.
Mm-hmm.
It's only when you sort of come out, if you go on camping or something like that. But I'll throw this into the mix too. Don't forget, we got the Yowie here as well. So you want to watch out for that one. In fact, chat, if you see that greasy-fingered bastard sneaking up behind me, you make sure you let me know.
I have no idea what the Yowie is. What is a Yowie?
Sasquatch.
Oh, okay. I know what that is.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's our Sasquatch.
Okay.
I carry. Yeah. Another, like, if I was going to say a podcast, I'm a huge fan of Sasquatch Chronicles. So
Okay.
love that. Things like that. So yeah, keep an eye. If you see him sneaking up, you let me know. That greasy thing.
I will start shouting from the rooftops. So let me ask you this. What would you be doing if content creation was no longer an option for you? Let's say your system blew up and you didn't have the means to replace it right away, whatever the case may be, what would you do as an alternative?
Well, that's the thing, man. I've always been that, like, creative kind of fella. Not having that outlet, I'd go mad. You'd probably be locking me up, I'd say. So either way, I'm going to put on a show somehow, no matter what happens. If it wasn't for heavy metal, I'd definitely be in jail. If it wasn't for getting up on stage and YouTube, I don't know what I'd be doing. I'd be going mad. I'd figure out a way. Let's say that. Even if I bloody strap some aluminium foil to me hat, get some antennas going, I'll get that thing working. So.
Well, sit there and kind of MacGyver it together.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's why MacGyver's in the chat. He's my inspiration. Whenever I need anything solved, MacGyver's the man.
There we go. I knew you had MacGyver around for a reason.
Yep. Old Minty Mac, the master of the emoji. Papa Hooligan. Cheers, Mac.
So, has it always been a dream to be a creator, or do you feel like you just kind of fell into it?
I fell into YouTube. I never thought I'd be doing, like, YouTube. It was like I was just posting, like, old cold start videos. Like, we'd have a below zero day here, and I'd go out and I'd cold start my YouTube. And then I can't remember what got me to do gaming, but it started, the video game Stalker.
Okay. Oh, the mic's cutting out there a little bit.
Yeah, sorry, the wind's getting bad.
Okay. In the meantime, I do want to give a quick shout out because I saw this earlier, but got a $5 super chat from Fafo Logging. Fafo, thank you so very much. Greatly appreciate it. And we will ask that question in the next segment. But thank you so much for your super chat.
Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Much better. Much better. Thank you.
So when the wind picks up, it gets bad. So I was trying to cover it, but and plus I've got roosters crowing and geese squawking, so I apologise.
Where's DJ
Yeah.
Goham when you need him to shout, "Hey, darn birds! Like, get out of here!"
I'll get the shotgun out in a minute. That'll scare him off.
No, we don't need to go that far. just saying. I'm sure that you like having the eggs and all that stuff. I just don't need to go overboard here.
I meant firing in the air, shooting in the air. Not at the birds. I need them.
Gotcha. So so you were saying, has it been a dream of yours to be a creator, or is it something that you fell into? And you were saying how YouTube you kind of fell into, and then you kind of cut out from there.
Yeah, so sorry, it was originally, I don't remember what got me into wanting to do video games. But I started recording stalker videos, which is, it's like an old Russian post-apocalyptic Chernobyl sort of game.
Mm-hmm.
And then me and my friends on the side were playing Farm Sim. And we had a little server together. And then I was like, you know what? We're a bunch of idiots. Why don't I just start recording? And so that was the start of really the Farm Sim on the channel. It was just me and my friends being absolute idiots. And me trying to learn a editing program. And then the rest is history.
Gotcha. And so your name there, Boganery. How did you come up with that as your YouTube channel name? Can you kind of elaborate as to the meaning behind it?
Yeah. So again, like writing and things like that, I like making up my own words. One of my mates and my drummer in my band calls me a wordsmith. And but I wanted to come up with a verb, something like a doing word for being a bogan. In Australia, a bogan is low socioeconomic, beer drinking, V8, a wild lad, basically. And so I wanted to come up with a word that, doing bogan stuff. So boganery, doing boganery. Boganery is doing bogan stuff, in my mind, anyway.
Gotcha.
A word at the end of it, but so.
Well, and I'm sure a lot of us here who may not be familiar with your channel, and also might not be familiar with the kind of Australian verbiage kind of thing. It's kind of good now that we kind of have that understanding of what, number one, what the channel name is representing, but two, the kind of term that is underlying it. So again, a little bit peeling back the onion, as you would say.
Yeah, I'd say it's sort of similar to like a redneck or a hillbilly sort of thing. Probably closer to hillbilly, which is usually why I start, if I'm making a character, something called Bill Hilly. I just swap those two front letters to hillbilly, Bill Hilly, Boganery. It's sort of the same sort of thing, but there's not really any, I don't know, like from outside looking in, with rednecks, there seems to be a racial connotation with it. Where with bogan, it's not. We don't really have that, but it's a similar sort of thing. Like, yeah, a white guy with big trucks and things like that. I guess. So.
See, that's the one thing that like really kind of interests me about being overseas are the vehicles that you can get in other markets that you can't get here in the States, and one of them in particular. That really always catched my eye, and it's because of the show Top Gear, was the Toyota Hilux. I believe you all have a version of it there in Australia, if I'm not mistaken. You do. We can't get that vehicle here in the States.
Yeah, import laws, man, that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it something to do with like potatoes or something, or tomatoes?
So
like that you couldn't.
I actually just learned about this. There's a content creator out there. He calls himself the Fat Electrician, and he does a lot of like historical, all like history, not reenactments, but just retellings, like almost like from a historian's perspective kind of thing. But so he was actually telling the reason that we here in the States cannot get the Toyota Hilux is because of chickens.
Oh, chickens. That was it. Yeah. Yeah. I knew it was some silly trade deal that Japan wouldn't come up with. So you were
Yeah.
like, oh, we'll stuff you.
It's so give a quick overview. Basically, after
Yep.
World War II, what ended up happening is that our chicken farming rebounded incredibly well. We were able to basically, here in the States, we were able to, make chickens, come out of our ears basically, and we were just pumping them out all throughout the world. We had so many, but other people over in like Europe and all them, they couldn't compete. We were basically driving down the prices of their chicken market because we were just pumping them out so well. So
Yep.
in order to combat that, they ended up putting a bunch of tariffs on top of our chickens to be able to allow their local poultry farmers to compete. And then somehow, some way, this got tied into Japan and them sending out the Toyota Hilux. And basically, as a retaliatory effort, because we started tariffing them back to kind of like, hey, knock it off kind of thing,
Yep.
they
Fair
basically
enough,
said,
too.
oh yeah, yeah. And it was one of those where Japan basically said, okay, well, we're just going to add, a huge tariff on top of our automobiles, and that's, yeah, we can't get the Toyota Hilux because of it. But it
Yeah.
all came from
It's
chickens.
sad. I don't know. Like, as far as an off-road vehicle, I think they're overrated. Like, they're very strong. Like, I've driven a lot of Hiluxes out in farms and through some pretty rough country. And yeah, they're pretty capable. But you know what I'd trade any day would be like one of those big, cheeching, bloody black smoke 7.3 IDIs, a big old Ford V8. I would much rather that than, the little four-cylinder rock crawler. But that's just me. See, I love American vehicles. I think they're the best. I got a Harley Davidson in the garage, an old 92 Softail.
Ooh.
And that thing is just America, dude. It's got Screaming Eagle all over it. So when that big twin fires up, mate, it's something beautiful. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's excellent. Yeah, and I agree with you. It's one of those where, like I said, I think that my kind of passion for the Hilux came because of the Top Gear episode, where they basically tried to do anything and everything they can to try and destroy the Hilux, and they couldn't.
Yeah, they couldn't. Yep.
So, I mean, it's probably
true.
one of the best
So,
advertisements anybody has ever put out on any vehicle ever.
absolutely. And, like, you know what? It's legit. So the farm vehicles I've rode around in from the 80s, and they've never had an oil change. They've never had the brakes done. They've never done anything. Yet somehow they'll go up the side of a hill, but
Mm-hmm.
they're gutless. Like if you have 4 mates in there and you're all, beer gut, swilling, overweight mates, and that thing's going to struggle if it's not in one lot. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
The engine, it's gutless. It's a gutless engine, but unbreakable.
I tell you what, I had an old, it was an 89 Ford Bronco, and I moved down to Florida from Michigan in that vehicle. And that thing
Yeah.
was built like an absolute tank. This thing, so I ended up starting my trip, like I said, from southern Michigan, driving all the way down to Florida in this thing, realizing about, I don't know, 20, 30 miles into the trip, so I'm still in Michigan, that, oh, wait, I have no rear transaxle fluid in this thing. So I go into the local shop, local gas station, get some transaxle fluid, I dump in a whole bottle of it to fill up the rear transaxle. And I get down the road, maybe about 10 miles to, just to double check it. I look inside, not a drop. It's pouring out as fast as I'm driving. And I'm like, okay, well, let's see how this goes. I drove all the way from southern Michigan to Florida. We're talking about, I think it's about 1,200 ish miles with no transaxle fluid in that truck, and it handled it like a champ.
Yeah. See, that's what those old Fords, mate. They're the best vehicles ever made. I love the old Broncos. The old Rangers, even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mintiest vehicles, and see, they're pretty rare here. We do get like F100s, like old
Okay.
F100s, but like an F250 is rare as hen's teeth. And it's my dream to own one, but to get one, I'd have to import it, and it's going to cost me about $60,000 to get one that's not rusted out and completely stuffed.
Yep.
So that's a pipe dream. But one day I'll get it.
I tell you what, that's one of my biggest things. I keep telling my wife, it's like one of these days I want to buy an old, either like 89, 90-ish, somewhere in that range, like either F-150 or Ford Bronco, doesn't matter which.
Yep.
I think I'd actually kind of prefer the Bronco because I absolutely love that truck. But just go down and rebuild it all from scratch. Just make it into a
Hell yeah.
complete showpiece. And I'd love it. I'd absolutely love to do it. One of these
Absolutely.
days.
1 second, mate. I apologise for the interruption. I've just got to get my dog for 1 second.
Okay. In the meantime, while we're waiting for Boganery to return, I want to thank everybody for coming out here tonight and hanging out with us. I see a whole bunch of you in the chat there, and I want to give a big, huge shout out to Dust Bunny. Dust Bunny, thank you so very much for all that you do, gathering up these questions for me. I see that you're doing it in the background there. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. So, yeah, I'm seeing a whole bunch in there. So, big, huge shout out to Dust Bunny and everybody out there in the chat who's come out to hang out with us here tonight. Like I said, I see a whole bunch of you out there. I'm seeing, let's see, who else have I seen so far? Dead Calm, thank you so much coming out. Midnight Rose. We got Grub 307. Let's see, Majors Gaming. Let's see, who else we got here? I'm seeing in the chat. Old Guy Farms, I see you out there. Billy Goat Gaming. Awesome. Thank you all again so very, very much. I greatly appreciate everybody who stopped out here today.
Apologies for that, mate.
Oh, no worries. No worries. So,
He was trying to get a goose egg, so
he was trying to get what?
he was trying to get away with a goose egg.
Definitely can't have that.
No. Not raw. I'll cook them up for him, but I don't like to give them to him raw.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. So let me ask you this. What kind of family dynamic do you have?
So it's me and my fiance. We sort of, it's pretty funny. I proposed to her years ago, like back in 2016 or something, but we just never bothered getting married. It was kind of like, we just consider ourselves married, so I always call her my missus. But we're not technically, we never done the proper ceremony. And she has 2 kids prior to that. So they're Jamaican descent. They're the most beautiful kids you've ever met. Very well behaved, just fantastic kids. And yeah, so I've been dad to them since they were this big, and looking after them out here and showing them the way. Just started teaching them to drive now. They're getting their license soon. So that's been pretty easy, actually. We've just got a little bit of the property here we can scoot around on, and they're picking it up pretty easy. So yeah, very, very happy family life and just living out here in the hills.
That's
so, fantastic. How about yourself?
That's fantastic. Congratulations. I mean, me, I'm married. I've got 2 kids. Both of them are under the age of 4. So
Yep.
the my oldest one, she's starting to get into that rebellious phase where you tell her not to do something and then she immediately starts to head towards it. So
Yep.
that's getting to be a little bit difficult, but really outside of that, they're fantastic kids. Absolutely adore them. Love being a father. But I asked you about the family dynamic because I want to know, how do you come up with that kind of proper, work and home, and in your case, farm, homesteading kind of, how do you come up with that balance, between being able to do everything?
Yeah. My missus carries the team. She's she's the MVP of the family for sure. She's the matriarch. So she works her ass off, especially for the last 2 years, because I quit my job 2 years ago to pursue all this, and she supported it. And so she has been working her guts up to support uh, me trying to get this off the ground um, and do all that. So I've worked here and there on the side, um, just to bring in a bit extra money. But as you know, there's a lot more that goes to YouTube. It's the same as like what we're talking about with the music, right? You have all the setup, all the making thumbnails and um, talking with people outside to get them in, especially what you're doing, trying to organise people for an interview. That must be very tricky, very hard to time. And then you hit live and you go and you have the best time. You have people come in who are just the best. I've been very lucky like that. I've had such awesome, good people around who came to my, no trolls, no nothing. Everyone's just been absolutely mint. And all my crew know, and they're just the best people. So you find time, right? After a while, it becomes like if like a circle. Your friends, they're your friends. So you got to make time for them. You make time for your family. You make time for work life. You make time for your friends, and you just got to do it. You put in the extra yard, and that's the reward you get out of it. It's like anything in life that's worth the time is hard work. If it's not hard work, it's probably shit. So why would you bother?
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. So, do you like to travel?
I'm not a big traveller. I've been to the States once. I'll travel if it's like if we're going to go do something specific. And I think that was where I failed my band. It was because I was the one who was and ride up to Queensland somewhere. I do it, but I'm much more of a like my castle sort of thing. I've found. Um, yeah. So yes and no. If I'm going to go do something specific, like one time my friend was getting married, so I jumped on the bike and rode. What would it be in miles? It's probably pretty similar to Michigan to Florida.
Oh
Um,
wow.
a place called Rockhampton. And so I just strapped up a bit of clothes on a backpack and rode 7 days straight up, you know, up and back to get to his wedding. So in that case, when the need calls, I'll do it. But yeah, I'm more of a home turf kind of fella.
I gotcha. Yeah, wow. I
How
mean,
about yourself?
driving that far on a motorcycle, holy smokes, that had to have been an absolute pain.
In the middle of summer too. So
Oh,
we're talking up in Queensland, you're hitting 42, 45 degrees. So,
wow.
uh, which in freedom units, as I call it, is what's 40? That's 105, I think. It's about
Wow.
105.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's pretty brutal. I mean, I live
Yeah.
down here in Florida, and on average during the summertime, we'll hit like the mid 90s, 90 degrees Fahrenheit here. I don't know what that'd be over in Celsius, but I mean, it gets pretty hot. It gets pretty hot. I don't know if
Yeah, but you got
you
the humidity. Well,
I don't know if you keep up
it's
with things going on YouTube or on TikTok. I don't tend to follow TikTok at all, but one thing I've been
yeah.
hearing a lot here recently is a lot of people over in the UK and saying that they're in the midst of a heat wave, and
Uh, yeah,
and
right.
they were sitting there basically saying, "Oh, it's 85 degrees," in Fahrenheit. I forget what they said it was in Celsius, but they're sitting there. It's like, oh, like nobody has any idea what we're going through and all this stuff. It's like I could step outside my house right now in the middle of summer and it's 95 plus degrees with 100% humidity and it's not raining. You want to
Yep.
cry a little harder?
No, well, technically, it is raining because 100% humidity. It might as well be. Hey?
Yeah, I mean the air is so thick and palpable that you can just take a bite of it and get hydrated at the same time.
Yeah.
Uh,
See, here
it,
we get those temperatures at night. Like that's the middle of the night kind of temperature.
mm-hmm.
So it gets hot here, man. Yeah, yeah. Like we've hit um like 45 degrees for about a week straight,
Oh,
which is absolute torture. Like it's a nightmare. Everything dies off. You know, it's unlivable, man. So yeah, no, those guys know nothing. Shut up, England. Shut up. You don't know what heat is. All right.
and it's funny because I ended up stumbling across this from it was actually on Facebook is where I saw it, and it was this guy who does almost exclusively Florida content, and his big thing is every time he sees something going on in the state of Florida, he sees a video and whatnot, and he just kind of monologues in front of the camera kind of thing. But his thing is he always
Yep.
gets his old school like flip phone and he just flip phone activate and he holds it up like in the air kind of thing, like he's pretending that he's recording it from the old school flip phone kind of thing. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this is, and that's where that's where I came across this whole like people complaining, over in the UK of it's so hot, it's 85 degrees, and I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. Now, don't get me wrong. If it was 85 degrees and didn't have AC, I would be uncomfortable too. But
Yeah.
down here in Florida, at least
I've,
pretty much everywhere we go around here has got air conditioning.
I got a question for you, man.
Yeah, let's hear it.
How often do you see Florida man?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. Florida man is actually very elusive. Um,
Yeah.
it's actually funny because I actually got into it with a buddy of mine about Florida man. Because
Yep.
he lived down here for pretty much his whole life, but then several years ago he ended up moving up to Chicago. And him being from Florida, everybody would say, "Oh, hey, it's Florida man this and Florida man that," and
Yeah.
that's pretty much anybody who's not residing in Florida always refers to Florida as because of Florida man
Florida
and all the
man.
crazy stuff they hear. Well,
Okay.
the reason that it's like that and that people hear about all these kind of crazy things that happens in Florida is because the way our laws are written is that you can very easily access all the arrest records and all that stuff from any of the any area within Florida. It's you don't
Yeah.
even really have to do that much to get access to them. You just got to basically put in a
Wow.
written request and you're done, kind of thing.
That
So it's like it doesn't
Florida
require
sounds like my
money.
kind of place.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Florida sounds like my kind of place.
Oh yeah, no, it's I absolutely love it down here. It was one of those where
Yeah.
I was considering moving away because it's pretty expensive, around here. Um, but it was one of those like, nah, I like the way things are going around here that I want to be able to raise my kids in and all that stuff. So yeah, Florida, I recommend Florida.
Hell yeah. I hope to visit one day, man. I really do.
I
So
t- so
I'd love to bring Mr. Kid.
Did you say that you came to the States once?
I did, yes. I went to Dallas to see Dirty D, who's in the chat, and I went to visit Dimebag Darrell's gravesite, which was a 20-year effort to do that. Me and my best mate, Bergs. For 20 years, we've been meeting on the death of Darrell Dimebag. And so year 20 was coming up. We were like, man, let's do it. We got to go to the States. We got to visit the gravesite, you know? And so we flew over from Sydney direct to Dallas, landed, met up with Dirty D in the chat there, absolute legend, and Sarah. G'day, Sarah. Best people. Again, met from YouTube, met through Farm Sim community. Yeah, got to hang out and do all that, and then flew back to LA. Went to the Rainbow Bar to see Lemmy and Lemmy's hangout spot, and then spent a couple of days there and flew back.
Oh, that's
Hope to
awesome.
be back soon. Yeah.
My only experience with going into Texas is I used it as a kind of layover, the Dallas Fort Worth area. I was visiting my girlfriend at the time, and she was actually stationed out there in California, and that was probably the most miserable I've ever been, was sitting there driving in California. I was done. I was absolutely done with the whole experience.
No, fair enough. Yeah, 'cause we were up along that Sunset Boulevard and the Santa Monica thing, and to get back to the airport from there was a nightmare. It was a nightmare, dude. So I can understand. Thankfully, I wasn't driving, so the guy had to drive it. So yeah, I don't envy him.
It was the first time in my life where I had to drive on an 8-lane highway, 8 lanes in one direction, never been on a roadway that large before. And it was bumper to bumper traffic. I'd never experienced that ever. And the worst part about it is that all the people who are on motorcycles, I don't know if this is like okay or the law in that specific area, but they were doing that lane splitting. So they're just driving in between all the vehicles that were stopped. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, oh man, this sucks. This sucks. This sucks. And all of a sudden,
yeah. I see, being a motorcycle rider, I do it all the time. Whether it's legal or not, I don't give a shit, man. I ain't standing in 40-degree heat with my shoes melting to the tarmac. You know, I'm riding through, and good luck catching me. You know, so yeah, you feel jealous though, especially when I'm driving and I'm stuck in that. You see, everyone's like, "Damn it, I wish I was on the bike."
Oh, and once my heart stopped palpitating for a few minutes, and I realized, okay, this is something to be expected, because I'm just sitting there, and I've never seen like that actually happen before, because down here in Florida, it's not allowed, and you'll see people like do crazy stuff around here, but it's one of those where I've never actually witnessed somebody do like lane splitting before, because down here we got a huge mix of different people from pretty much all over the country kind of thing. So you get so many different driving styles, and you got a very much aging population down here. So you get a lot of old people that, if you're on the motorcycle, you basically are not taking risks. Kind of thing. It's like, because you're the smallest thing on the road, kind of thing. So, all of a sudden I'm just sitting there with my hands on the wheel, and I'm just, like I said, a big just, and just they gunned it right past me, and I'm like, what? Like, just sitting there, my heart's about to explode out of my chest. Yeah, it's like, what was that? Oh, goodness.
Man. No, I totally understand it from the point of view, and I do feel bad doing it sometimes, especially like a straight piped Harley Davidson clipping past. Goodbye.
Oh no!
I'm probably in my time. But that's it. We call them. We call ourselves temporary Australians down here, motorcycle riders, because the odds of you living to my age, I've done pretty well. So,
So, let me ask you, what inspires or motivates you?
that's a good question. I don't know, man. Like I'm ADHD, pretty wild. Uh, I don't know. Like I think friends do. Yeah. I've never really thought about that. That's a
Okay.
good question. I think it's friendship, man. Friendship and family motivates me. And fun. I like to have fun and have a laugh. Um, the one thing I am good at is like I can meet anyone. Like I got the gift of the gab. I can walk into a group of people I don't know. Excuse me, Randy. I can walk into a group of people that I don't know and make friends pretty quick. So I think that's I think that's it, man. Just people and good friendly people. Uh, that's what motivates me. He just wants his 15 minutes of fame. This one. Oh, Randy down here. My
DJ
chat knows
Goham.
Randy well.
We
Yeah,
need DJ
get the
Goham. It's like,
shotgun.
get out of here, bird.
Excuse me.
So, what's one thing that people are generally surprised to find out about you?
I don't know. I think you'd have to ask them, mate. I don't. I don't tend to worry too much about what people think of me. Honestly, I am who I am, and if you don't like it, then off you go. So, I don't know.
And
Maybe that my voice is way higher than what I look like. Everyone, when I open my mouth, they're probably expected like, "Hey, how you doing there, honey?" And I'm like, I got like a nutless vibe going on.
You mentioned that you had a dog earlier. Is that the only pet that you have, or do you have other pets?
Well, what do you call livestock and what do you call pets? I mean, I love my animals, every single one of them. Even Randy making all the racket right now. You know, uh, I value my dogs more than most humans. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I got 50 pets, I'd say. So the dogs, I got two dogs. One's a tiny little thing, like a lap dog, which I bought for my missus many years ago when we first met. And the other's a gigantic. What is he? He's 80 kilos, so I don't know what that is in pounds. Mac will tell you if he's still in the chat. Um, he's a big boy and he's a livestock guardian, so he hangs out. That's what he was doing, the silly bugger. Before he went out to go check on a goose to make sure it was okay, and come back with a bloody egg in his mouth. So yeah,
He's keeping a close eye on the livestock
on
and the
his
future
livestock, yeah.
livestock.
So, and I think this is testament to him, right? He's that big. He's got, his teeth, his canines are that big, and there's not a crack on that thing.
That's pretty impressive. That
So
is pretty impressive.
he's gentle giant, but he was definitely going to go eat this. Just so you know, he's not that, but not until he was away where he couldn't be found.
So it's actually funny because I actually have a neighbor who lives just behind me here, and they have a beautiful German Shepherd, but he's a bit younger. My guess is maybe around a year. And his name is Zeus. And this is one of I love German Shepherds. I think they're amazing dogs. And I'm sitting in my, or I'm not sitting, but I'm standing in my living room. And all of a sudden I look and I see Zeus out there, and he's sitting there like flinging something in the air. And I'm like, what is that? And what is, like, number one, he's not supposed to be like right on the backside of our property because we actually own, imagine our property, our house. We got a fenced off portion of the yard, but that's only like a small portion of the whole property that we own. A good chunk of it is actually beyond the fence, on the outside of the property. And Zeus is right up against the fence line. I'm like, okay, well, he's not supposed to be there. Not a huge deal or nothing, but he's also off his leash, doesn't have his collar on. So it's one of those, like, I want to go get him real quick and try and get him back to his house. And I've met him once before, kind of thing. And basically the same thing had happened, is that the I had come home and my neighbor was in the overgrown patch of like weeds and tall grass just on the outside of the property line. And he was trying to get his dog to come back to him. Well, he ends up, introducing himself. It's like, oh, hey, this is Zeus. He's friendly. Don't worry, and all that stuff. And so I go out there and I notice that as I'm walking out there and he's throwing this thing in the air, I'm like, what? And all of a sudden I realize that's a turtle. He got a hold of, they're called gopher tortoises. And he got a hold of one of them. And he's sitting there just kind of like trying to play with it. He's not trying to hurt it or anything like that, but he's like getting it in his mouth and he's like tossing it around, and he's basically like acting, he's having a good old time. But this is being the only second time that I've actually been around this dog. I'm like, I don't want to go and try and snag the turtle from him. So I'm trying to think of anything I can do to try and get this turtle out of his mouth. And I'm like, ooh, I found a stick on the ground. I'm like, hey, Zeus, you want to get it? And I chuck it away from the turtle, and I go and grab the turtle as he goes to chase it. And then I use the turtle as bait to get him to come along with me back to his house.
It's a funny kind of rescue operation. God damn.
Oh, and I tell you, he is 100% pure puppy. I mean, I don't know if you can see my arm right here, but he just scratched the life out of my arm.
Hopefully your neighbor teaches him to do that so he can have a long and happy life and be good around people.
Oh yeah, and he's a good boy. He was. I mean, number one, to be able to walk up to a stranger's dog like that, because like I said, I've only ever met them one other time besides this, and be able to not only be within reach of him. And I've been attacked by dogs before. I like you, I'm very much an animal lover. I love my dogs. And I don't know if this will be able to be picked up on camera, but I've got right here where a dog actually got a hold of me. My wife, she was maybe 8 or 9 months pregnant, somewhere in that ballpark. She was getting ready to have her second daughter, and we ended up, it's maybe like 9 o'clock at night, so it's dark outside, and we come across a German Shepherd out in the middle of the street. And she's like, oh, I'm gonna go take him back to his house, because we knew exactly where he belonged. Kind of, it's like, no, no, you're 9 months pregnant, and you're gonna stay in the truck. You're going to stay in the truck. We're not going to risk, him attacking you and you getting hurt or the baby getting hurt. I'll go out there and I'll go, try and, coax him into his yard. Well, he wasn't the problem. He was actually a good boy. He's like, okay, so he's allowing me to come up to him, and he sniffs my hand and all that stuff. And I'm trying to coax him back into his yard. I didn't realize that his mate would take issue with me. And sure enough, his mate comes screaming from that yard, and she is just lunging at me, jumping up at my face and doing all sorts of stuff. And sure enough, she gets a hold of my hand, and just one little bite, wasn't like the end of the world or nothing, but it's like, oh, okay, yep, that sucked. But
that's the warning. Don't mess with my pack.
Yep, and that was it.
Yep.
And I actually
say, like, grab you by the cuff and go, get out of here, So that's the closest that we got.
Well, it's funny because the owner heard the commotion and whatnot and saw that I'd stopped and I had my flashers on and all that stuff. So they had come out, because they knew I was basically being attacked by their dog. So they went and brought it up, and he's sitting there explaining, reason that she was attacking you wasn't necessarily that she was protecting her mate. She was, but turns out that she was a former police dog that had failed out of the
Oh,
academy
yeah.
because she was sitting there and attacking pretty much anybody who had gotten their hands out. So like they were attacking the other police officers, they were attacking the suspect because they're in the academy, so they haven't actually gotten to uh actual suspects kind of thing. Um, so
Yeah,
so
so yeah, all the training, but none of the outlet
yep,
to
yep.
use it. Yep.
So yeah, that was it exactly. So it's needless to say, it was probably the perfect storm of I done goofed.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
me
well, you weren't.
personally, I don't blame the dog. I wasn't mad at the dog or nothing. It's like, okay, the dog is doing what the dog does, kind of thing.
Yeah,
You know?
100%.
So
That's it. But if only you could sit down. How many times have I wished this? In fact, if I was to make an instrument, if I was to have like a wish granter, I would say the first wish I want to be able to communicate with a dog and be like able to explain everything and have it explain everything to me. Yeah, because I love dogs, man, and yeah, I reckon that'd be my number one wish for sure. So imagine being able to pull up in that situation and say to the dog, "Hang on, man, I'm just, I'm chill. Don't worry, relax." Which you can do with body language, but
yep.
it'd be way easier just to be able to go, do you read my mind?
The whole Doctor Doolittle thing. That yeah, totally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
100%.
do you get a chance to watch other content creators, watch YouTube or anything like that?
I did for quite a while. At the moment, I don't. Doing all this training for this new job. I've also taken on a few extra things with the kids in school holidays and things like that. But that was one of my favorite things to do was go into other people's streams and meet them and hang out and talk um, talk smack in the chat. Uh, like that's how I met Doc and a lot of those guys. Um, we don't hold back. I guess I get along with a lot of. I get along with people who aren't afraid to be poked fun at. And having done that, like getting to go through other people's streams, I found a good niche of people that are the same sort of mindset. So unfortunately, at the moment, yeah, I don't get to do it as much as I would like. Maybe when I'm stuck in a fire watchtower with not much to do, that might change again. I might have a bit more time to be like, I'm getting paid for this.
I'm getting paid to watch
uh,
YouTube.
yeah. No, but seriously, I love to, but I don't get the chance as much as I'd like to. Even Nacho, like I love Nacho's content, man. I love that guy. He's an absolute champion. But I don't get the chance to go over there and watch. So hopefully soon.
So
Uh,
one question that I tend to ask people that often kind of stumbles them up, uh, and I'm actually very interested to hear your perspective because it's one of those that because you live on the complete opposite side of the world than I do, there's going to be a whole slew of people potentially that I would have never have either known about or considered in this question. So the question is, if you could meet any three people, who would they be and why? And it could be people from the past, people from the present, whatever the case may be. Who are the three people that you would love to meet?
Julius Caesar. I'd like to meet Caesar, have a chat with that guy. Um, Dimebag Daryl, if I was going to be selfish. And who else? I don't know. That's a good question. I think, yeah, maybe like, because I'm a history. Oh, you know what? Tolkien. I'd love to have a sit down and chat with Tolkien and get into his brain for a minute. Imagine that. thankfully we've got a little bit there to look for. But yeah, I'd say that's three: Dimebag Daryl, Tolkien, um, and probably Julius Caesar, I reckon. Or maybe like if we could, the historical figure we can chop and change. We can say, imagine like meeting Vlad Dracula or Genghis Khan. Insert someone there, and I'm not going to say like a grandparent or a past, like someone that I didn't get to meet from my past, because yeah, I don't think. I think yeah, I don't know about that one, because I thought about that for a second. There's like, oh, maybe I'd meet someone from my past, but I don't know. I think I'll stick to those three. How about you?
Oh my goodness. I mean, one of the people that I would love to meet, because I didn't really get a chance to, because he passed when I was a baby, was my grandfather on my father's side. He was actually in World War II. Was it World War II? World War II, and he was actually in the paratroopers. He was, dropped behind enemy lines. He was captured. The whole 9 yards. So it's just one of those that I'd love to be able to just kind of sit down and have a conversation with him, be able to kind of hear some of the stories that he has, like, coming from that generation of individuals. Like, they were just built completely different
Oh
than people from our generation, kind of thing. It's just not even cut from the same cloth of toughness and resiliency and things along those lines. So getting to be able to chat with somebody like that would be very, very cool. But
that's a good one.
but what was your first paying job?
Um, I was uh what was it? It was picking, well, off the books, or I guess off the books. I was like 13, 14. I worked at a Chinese restaurant um at the front bar, because he's my mate's parents owned it. And so that I got paid under the table. And then the first real paying job was, it's called an agricultural research station, where we have them sort of dotted around Australia. They're like, what kind of fruit will grow in this type of area, and what kind of yields can you expect, and things like that. So at 16, I kind of had enough of school and went and did that. I was picking fruit and pruning and uh, yeah, helping just around this big. I think it was about 1,000 acre place, I think. And yeah, they had cattle and all sorts of things. So that was the first payment one. Sort of, again, yeah, it was a good job, good people. The fellow there taught me how to reverse a trailer, for example. Now I can do it
Okay.
like a champ.
I'd imagine that it'd
Which is
become
just,
pretty important, being on a 25 acre, farm like you got there.
yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Reversing a trailer is definitely a skill that everyone should learn.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, what about you? Where'd you first work?
Oh, my first paying job, I actually worked for a Target, up in Michigan. And
Yep.
I don't know if you know what a Target is, but it's like a
Yep.
Walmart, like a
Yep.
like
No,
a
we had Target. I think we still do.
oh,
So,
there we go. So you know exactly what I'm
yep.
talking about. But no, it just yeah, I ended up working there when I was 16, I think, and I was a cashier. So it was one of
Yep.
the worst jobs I'd ever had, because at that point, so being a cashier, you're constantly scanning things through, and they had that audible noise, the beeps. I would leave the store and go home at night. I'd go to sleep, and all I'd hear is beep, 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 and just I would just have nightmares of just that beeping noise. And it's like, okay, this is something we got to get away from pretty
Yeah,
quick. But
absolutely. Yeah.
so
That's what
the,
I get like when I'm hearing Fatho logging talk. When I'm having to be on a stream with him for 7 hours, I hear him talk. It's like beep, beep. When I go to sleep, I can still hear that main accent, you know? Beep, beep, beep. Just kidding.
So last question I've got for this segment here is in regards to where you live now, there's obviously that deep connection to the countryside kind of thing, being away from the cities and all that stuff. One thing that I've kind of contested, and it seems to held up pretty well up until this point, is that there seems to be some sort of connection. Not always, it's not universal, but very oftentimes there's a connection between, whether it's rural living, growing up on a farm, working on a farm, whatever the case may be, where there was some sort of connection to the rural living, to now being into the whole farm sim space. Do you feel like that
Yep.
was kind of the easy transition from, you having a 25-acre farm and, being in the countryside to now making content for, farm sim? Does that kind of track for you?
Oh, absolutely. That's a pretty that's an amazing observation because I think like farming and producing, you know, it comes inherent in a lot of us, right? Like it's a genetic thing. People, when agriculture appeared, you know, let's say 10,000 years ago, but it was definitely before that. We have it in us to want to run our fingers through the soil because I think we we come from it. We're all stardust, and eventually we're going to go back to it. We're all tied to it, and being able to have the spare time to play a video game and chase that same thing virtually from the comfort of your own chair is an incredible human achievement. And absolutely, man, it's a primal instinct, I think. And I think that's why farm sim community is so, like you said earlier, there's no toxicity, and where it is, it's pointed out like a weed and got rid of. And that's the way it should be. Because we all have an urge to go back to the land to grow things and uh nurture the land. I don't know whether that take it how you want, like hunting, um, managing herds, to digging in the soil. So to go to farm sim from that is probably the easiest, smallest transition ever. It's because you just can't get enough of it, right? Either you're missing it in your life and that game calls to you, or you do it all day, every day, and then you can't switch it off at night because that's what you love to do. So you jump on farm sim and have a play. You know, uh, that's what I think anyway. I rabbited it on a bit there, but that's what I think. I think it's in us, and that game calls to a primal something deeper in us all.
You know what? I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. But like I said, that's the last question I have for this segment here. So let's go ahead and turn to the chat. We got a whole bunch of people out there. Thank you all so much for your questions. And again, Dust Bunny, thank you so much for helping out here tonight. She actually has us starting out with her question. She asked, where do you see your channel in 5 to 10 years?
Probably in the same place. The algorithm hates me because I swear and I carry on and I don't really care about what I say too much. If you're easily offended, I'm not the guy for you. If you like to have a laugh and you can poke fun at yourself, then yeah, you'll be just fine. But I'll probably won't much further from where I am now, and that's fine by me.
Well, I tell you what, everybody, let's prove Boganery wrong here. Let's go ahead. If you haven't yet, go check out his channel, hit that subscribe button, and just see if you like it. Just
Yeah,
saying.
hang
Go
out.
check them out. But
Oh, thank
again,
you, and same right back at you.
but Dust Bunny, thank you so much for your question. We got one from Pippa Thompson. Pippa says, "What is your favorite map and mods?"
Oh, well, if we're going to say 22, because I loved 22. What was it called? It was called Fraser Valley, British Columbia, made by a guy called Hilly. Um, I loved that map. I did a long series on it where I did a homestead build. Um, that was such a good map. In 25, I haven't found one that I'm really, really loving in the same way. It'll come out. It'll be there eventually, but at the moment, nah. I love Terra Farm. I love being able to dig in the soil. I think that should have been base game, but is what it is. And then anything with old machines, because I love old machines. So yeah, you name it. Old Fords like gear wrench modding. I love gear wrench modding's vehicles. Uh, and yeah, basically anything that's old. So and small scale. I think Farm Sim's got their eyes too big on the brands and doing large scale farming. I reckon they need a couple of machines in there that yeah is a bit smaller, but that's just me. So thanks for the
Again,
question. That's awesome.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I think that the modding community out there does, I mean, an absolute service for us, because without them, we would be getting all the brand new stuff, the high end brands, and all that stuff. But with the modders, we get this huge eclectic range of different sorts of, timelines and vehicle types and all this different stuff, the maps, the other sorts of equipment, just everything. So big shout out to all the modders out there helping make this game as great as it is.
The modders are the best. Without the modders, Farm Sim's nothing. Like it's a base game. The base game is good for 20 hours. With the modders and the community that make it, it's good for 2,000 plus hours more. So without the modders, Farm Sim is nothing. And without, yeah. Anyway, that's just how I feel about it. So
Again, right there with you. Again, Pippa, thank you so much for your question. We got one here from Lisa. She asked, "What's the name of your horse?"
Whiskey, he's a thoroughbred, ex-racehorse. He used to race over in Hong Kong, of all places. It was
Wow.
a pretty won about $600,000 in his time, and yeah, so I rescued him from, well, not technically rescued. He was looked after, but he only had this tiny little yard, probably not even an acre, and it was just dead flat, no cover, no nothing. And so um, I seen him and I just liked him. He's like, "I have to take you home, buddy. I'll give you I'll give you a better life than this." And so yeah, I brought him home. But his name's Whiskey. I can't. He used to run under. He used to race under the name Smart Man. So if you look up in the history, I think it's called Smart Man. That's my horse. So cheers, Lisa.
Lisa, thank you so much for your question. We got one from Dirty D. They ask, "He
Dirty.
raised spiders and snakes, lol." Well, that's not a question, but yeah, he raises spiders and snakes, lol.
Only like under my bed and in the nooks and corners of the house that I never clean.
Oh, goodness. Dirty D, thank you so much. Next one we got
Cheers, dude.
is from Fafo Logging. It says, "Them rabbits are safe. I've seen him shoot."
uh, yeah, right. I'm better shot than you. One day I hope to test that out, Doc. I'll come over there and we'll go moose hunting.
Ooh,
We'll
there you
see.
go. That's some fun. All right. Fafo Logging, thank you so much for your question. We got Majors Gaming says, "For Boganery, what's your favorite task to do in farming, as well as what's the least favorite task?"
I in real life or in gaming was that?
I'm gonna presume that this is in the game.
in the game. You know what? We'll do both.
There you go.
In the game, I love baling hay. In real life, I hate baling hay. So, yeah, in the game, I like grass cutting and things like that. And the least favorite, you know what? It's probably cropping. I think cropping in that game is, yeah, I love doing the livestock. That's why I'm glad in 19 they brought the animals in. But like in 25, if you guys haven't seen it, there's a mod called Realistic Livestock. Amazing mod. Finally able to be physical animals with things like that. So what I love the most is grass cutting, TMR, silage, feeding the livestock, selling them off. And probably the least favorite is the cropping, which is what the game mainly focuses on. But then in real life, what do I hate the most? Yeah, probably cutting grass, slashing. But I love in real life working with the animals. Like cattle, horses. I don't really like sheep very much. Sheep are a pain in the ass. But I like cattle a lot. They're just like big dogs, man. So, yeah.
So
Hope that answers the question.
let me piggyback off of that question and ask, so where do you think the disconnect is? Because you said that one of your favorite things to do in game is to bale hay and do things like that, but in real life it's one of your least favorite things. Where's the disconnect? Why is it your favorite in game but least favorite in real life?
Well, if you've ever when you're picking up hay bales, anyone who's done that, like if you're lifting and lugging small bales, you get your arms all shredded up, you're sneezing. So it's just the allergy side of it. Like the actual lifting and throwing and part's fine, but yeah, the allergy part of it, I guess. But I've been in tractors, with like old 80s tractors, like a Fiat, where it's an enclosed cab with no air conditioning, but they've got the holes in the floorboards. And so when you're slashing, all the dust comes straight up through those floorboards, and there's more dust in your cab than there is outside. So you
Oof.
come out and you're just like covered in dust. You might as well not have the bloody cab at all. So yeah, that's my favorite. Because it's not that it's bad to do, it's just that it sucks when you're itchy and scratched up. But I hope that answers it.
No, that absolutely. As a matter of fact, another scar that I have is actually right in the middle of my forehead. Again, don't know if that's going to show up on camera or not. Back when I was maybe 5 or 6, my grandfather owns a farm. It's no longer active, but he would subcontract all the outer fields that were around the farm there that he owned for everybody to come and do their corn and all that stuff. But he owned one stretch of property on, I believe it was the north side of the farm, that he would dedicate to hay bales because he had cows. So he'd sit there, and every summer we'd go out there and he would bale up everything, collect everything, and he'd take it up to the barn, and he would sit there, and the whole family would get together. We would take the bales off of the trailer and not me because I was too young, but everybody would take the bales off of the trailer and throw it onto this little, basically a little escalator. There we go. Those are words.
Yep.
And
Hayloft.
Yep, and throw it up in the hayloft. So because I was so young, easily distracted, bored kind of thing, but nothing really to do besides going running around and whatnot. Well, I decide that my grandfather's truck at the time had a bunch of bales in the back of the truck. And the entire bed of the truck was all filled up, and I didn't realize this at the time, but there was a post right in the center of the truck bed in between all the bales, but it was just barely proud of the remainder of the bales. And I'm sitting there jumping back and forth on top of all the bales. Well, I tripped and I fall head first onto this center stud that's right on the middle of this truck bed, crack my forehead wide open. I'm just a fountain at this point. Everybody stops what they're doing, takes me to the hospital. I get a bunch of stitches on my face. But yeah, no,
Hmm.
I completely understand what you're saying because I did eventually grow up and was starting to do it, but then eventually my grandfather aged out of it, got rid of all the cows, and didn't have to do it anymore. But I think there
Yeah.
was maybe about a solid 2 or 3 years where every summer we were going up there for 3 years and just chucking bales up into the loft there. And yeah, so I
Yeah.
trust me, I understand what you're talking about there.
And the best thing about scars is, man, you get the cool stories to talk about. And if it's not a cool story, then you make one up for it, right? Uh,
Yep, that's it too. You figure out how to you figure out how to make it fun. Let's see. Majors, thank you so much for your question. Greatly appreciate it. We got not a question, but something here from Midnight Rose, the emojis of the rock on, or no, rock on, there we go, and the guitar. So there's saying
Hell
rock
yeah,
and roll.
rock and roll.
Let's see. And I think we asked this earlier, but I'll go ahead and re ask it. From Always Alfredo. Alfredo, thank you so much for your question. It says, what's your favorite movie?
Yep. The third Die Hard movie with Samuel L. Jackson.
With a
I would say that's
Vengeance.
my favorite. Yeah, with a vengeance. That's it.
Excellent, excellent.
Uh,
Alfredo, thank you so much for your question. Let's see. We've
cheers,
got
man.
one here from Dust Bunny says, is your dog mm, Anatolian Shepherd or a Turkish guard dog?
Yep. So Anatolian Shepherd is what we call him here, but he specifically is from the Sivas Valley in Turkey. So technically, that makes him a Kangal. So he's part Kangal, part Anatolian Shepherd. There is a slight difference. It's debatable, but the Kangals tend to be a little bit bigger. Um, and yeah, pretty interesting breed actually. They can be traced back like 6,000 years. So
Oh,
from
wow.
that region, we're talking Mithridates had them. Mithridates, the poison king of Pontus, he had them. So yeah, very it's just in them to be guard dogs. It's their whole existence. They Whoever's their pack, they'll they'll die for 'em without a second thought. Amazing to read. Beautiful animals, beautiful animals. So thank you very much, Dust Bunny. You're exactly right.
Awesome. Again, Dust Bunny, thank you so much. We got the $5 super chat from Fafo Logging. Again, Fafo, thank you so much for
Here we
that.
go.
Says, how has life been since you left Elbow's inner circle?
Uh, oh, Doc. Uh, great, great. No, I'll never leave Albo. For those who don't know, Albo is our prime minister, and he's a super left-wing government. And anyone who knows, I don't steer that way. So he teases me all the time about liking Albo, our prime minister. So thanks, Doc.
Also asked, do you miss singing backup for him?
I'm gonna get you back. I'm gonna get you back, Doc. He's a
uh,
legend.
Fafo, thank you
Damn
so much.
Canadians.
Thank you so much for your question. We got one from Midnight Rose. This is actually oh, Midnight Rose, you are 100% correct about this. So earlier I was talking about that venue in Atlanta, Georgia, and Midnight Rose
Yep.
got it 100% correct. It's called the Masquerade in Atlanta. Yes, great venue. Midnight Rose, thank you so much. That was going to bother me until after we got off the stream, where I would have eventually gone and looked it up. But yes, the
Yeah.
Masquerade, that is exactly it. Let's see. Pippa says, what is your dog's name?
Ymir. All of the dogs I've ever owned have been after Norse mythology, figures in Norse mythology. I had a German Shepherd named Tyr, um, who was, I guess, the Norse god of like justice
Mm-hmm.
and war. And then Ymir was the giant that Odin killed to create the Midgard, which is the earth, and that out of his skull. So I called him Ymir because I knew he was going to be a big dog, a giant. So that's why I went with Ymir. YMIR. Yeah.
Okay. And do you
Yeah.
do you have like an affinity towards like North mythology or?
Yeah, I don't know. It just always interested me. I don't know if I have heritage. This is why I didn't say the question before with, who I'd like to meet someone from my past, is I'm adopted. So I was adopted into an Irish family. And I don't really know my heritage. I don't know my past. But for whatever reason, from a very early age, I sort of clung to that. And it's never really left. So, don't know. I have an interest in it, and it may be my heritage. It may not be. As far as I know I've got a little bit of Norman in me. So that's as much as I know from my mother's side, which is Scandinavian French. So yeah, if you know 1066 and any history, that's the Normans. So yeah.
Okay. So, out of curiosity, have you ever played the Assassin's Creed series?
Yep, I played the very first one way back in the day, and then I played Black Flag, which was amazing, and I hope they remake that. So they're the only ones.
You should consider playing Valhalla. That one was a really good one.
I watch another good shout out here. I watched my friend Mandu play it. I hope you can hear me. The wind's blowing. But yeah, there's a channel called Mandudius. Really good channel. He does the Assassin's Creed from start to finish. Does all of them. So I've seen him play it over there. I hang out on his stream when I can. And yeah, so I've seen Valhalla, bits of it. It looks pretty interesting. One day I'll put my hands on it. But yeah, right now, like, as I was saying with the time I get, it's Farm Sim, Snow Runner, and that's about it. So,
Gotcha. All right, Pippa, thank you so much for your question. Let's see. Next one we have is from Lisa. She says, looks like a beautiful day over there. Where he at? Yeah, over in Australia.
yep. So I'm in New South Wales, Australia, right out in the middle of nowhere. But I'm north of a town called Bathurst, which is the first settled location in Australia over the Great Dividing Range. At the moment, actually, Unknown Device, who's in the chat, he knows the place. If you're a racing fan, you'll know what I'm talking about. We have a world famous racing track in the town. So I'm up in the hills north of that. So,
Gotcha. Again, Lisa, thank you so much for your comment there. We got one here from Old Guy Farms. Said, subbed to his channel. So referring to you, they hit the sub button for you.
Thank you very much, dude. Cheers. It'll be good to see you and hang out.
And then Dust Bunny thanking Mr. OG for the sub to Mr. Boganery. Next one we have is, let's see. Let's see. Nacho Cast says, what's it like being the second best looking guy to have been interviewed by Dave?
Well, following up on the first best looking guy, it's an unachievable standard. So it's one of those things, where it's just out of reach. You'll never get there. So don't even try.
Nacho. Thank you so much for your question. Let's see. We got one from Fafo Logging says, second, I don't remember doing the interview, but thanks, Nacho.
Doc's the best, man.
Oh, goodness. That was good. That was good.
And thank you. Also, thank you. Well, he helped me set up the tavern, the Discord. If you guys are keen, come over to the tavern. There's a bunch of good people hanging out. And thank you, Doc, for helping me set it up because I'm useless at Discord. So cheers, man.
Let's see. So we got a question here from Unknown Device. Says, Bogan, do you play SnowRunner? And how many hours have you played?
This is a running joke. 1,000 hours, snow runner. That's all I got to say on that. 1,000 hours.
Moving
I
on.
don't know if I do.
Let's see. We got looks like a comment from Old Guy Farm since being a dog lover and from the area my dogs are from, do you have any suggestions on how to train a healer to calm down any as they want to herd badly, even those we are in a town, not the country?
Give them a job. So all of those working dogs, you have to give them a job, even if it's just something phony. Like something that in their mind will be the job. Being in town is hard because I don't know, like, if you're going to a dog park or if you have a decent sized yard or you're just going for walks. See, like blue heelers are going to struggle if you're just going for a walk on a lead. You need to like give them something to chase and herd. The best way I can think of is they probably won't respond real well to throwing a ball or a frisbee or something like that. And it's hard because if you put yourself in the place of the one getting chased, you might get bit because they like blue heelers love to nip. That's how they get cattle to move. They nip the back of their ankles. That's a hard one, man. I don't know about in town. My best, I reckon, probably other dogs. If you got a dog park, and there's well trained, like, if there's well trained dogs at a dog park, do that, or go to like a dog training thing. That's going to be the best to start with. Get them used to it, and then they'll have way better ideas than my dumb ass about what you can do. But yeah, they want to work, so give them a job. That's probably my best advice.
Excellent, excellent. Old Guy Farms, thank you so much for your question there. And now we're going to move on to our next segment called Meat and Potatoes, emphasis on potatoes. And this is where we're going to get to know you more for your content and your channel rather than who you are as an individual. So starting off,
Yep.
do you only produce content for Farming Simulator or do you produce other types of content as well?
Yeah, I love to do whatever I can. I like to put comedy into what I do. So I do like light RP with everything, even in farm sim or any game I play. You know, if I got to jump over a fence, I'm going, you know. If I climb up into a tractor, that sort of thing. But yeah, no, I play other games as well. Farm sim was sort of the main jam, but I don't want to be sort of just in there. I want to do all sorts of things. As long as it's entertaining, I'll give it a go, basically, and carry on like an idiot.
So how long have you been creating content?
I think it's got to be 2 years now, I think. 2 years on YouTube. I tried to go to Twitch to start with, and I didn't really like that. I didn't like live streaming to start with. There was no one there and all that sort of thing. And then so I did the videos on YouTube, and then people could sort of watch them as they went along. And then as I got, more people coming along and hanging out, I was like, actually, live stream's the way to go. Because when people actually are there to watch and hang out, it's a hell of a lot of fun. So, yeah.
Oh, 100%. It doesn't it just changes the whole dynamic. Like, it's cool to be able to be creative and make a series where there's either a story or things that are kind of going on in your own head, but the whole thing just changes and shifts away because not only are you like sitting there interacting with the game, but you're also interacting with everybody else out there. It's tons of fun, absolutely tons of fun. So what's one thing that you never I'm sorry, what was that?
I said it's more like being on stage. Like play music, get up on stage, get people to interact. That's not.
Oh,
If I've got work to do cropping and I don't want to do it, can you hear me?
yeah, it was breaking up there for just a second there, but you're back.
Yeah. There's geese carrying on. I think the mic cuts out. Yeah, if there's work on the farm in Farm Sim I don't want to do, I chuck one of the chat members in the truck. And if the AI stuffs it up, well, then it's all your fault. So interact with chat, get them in the tractor working, and when eventually the AI stuffs them up, it's all that chat member's fault. So
So, what's one thing that you never expected to happen when you created your channel, but did? So, some examples I give are the sense of community, unexpected backlash, things along those lines. What's one thing that you never expected but did happen?
friendships. So absolutely, I never ever expected to make friends out of it. It was more like, because to start with, I never showed my face. I was like, I'm going to be this faceless guy. I'll put out there, say some wild stuff, and just see what happens. And then yeah, I just made friends out of it. So never expected that.
Gotcha, gotcha. Uh, would you consider Farm Sim to be your favorite game? And if not, what is?
That's a hard one. It's definitely the one I've spent the most time on. So I guess in that vein, it has to be my favourite. But we'll say yes. Otherwise, we'll be here all day, and people will get sick of hearing me.
So walk us through a typical day for you when you decide that you're going to be able to hop on and create some content, whether it's a live stream or some of your pre-recorded stuff. Walk us through, how does your day start and all the way out to where it ends?
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. Well, I usually prep a day or two before, and quite often I know they're joking, but people will come up to my streams. Like there's one up there right now for tomorrow, but it's been up since yesterday. So I'm prepped before I go in, and they'll be on there saying, "Hurry up, let's go." But so when I wake up, because like I'm ADHD, man, like my life has got to be like routine. So I get up, it's making the coffee, making breakfast, having a shower, go feed the animals, check the waters, all the farm stuff. That fills up the entire morning, and I'm usually my time. It's about 10 a.m., 11 a.m. that I stream. So I sit down there, and it depends how tired I get. Because if you've ever watched one of my streams, I'm yelling and I'm carrying on. I put a lot of energy into it. So it'll go anywhere from 2 hours to I've done 7 hours occasionally. I've done a 12-hour stream one time when I hit 500. But yeah, so if you say 4 hours, by that time I have to go pick up the kids from the bus stop, and then it's being a dad, cooking dinners because I'm not the one working at the moment. So I'll cook up all the dinners for the missus, the kids, and then I might get a bit of chill out time there in the afternoon before in the evening. Then the missus knocks off work, and I usually cook up another feed, something like that, and then it's off to bed pretty much. Hopefully, a couple of beers and whiskeys in between, So that's about it.
Gotcha, gotcha. And when did you start playing Farming Simulator? Like what?
19, when 19 came out, I heard about it, and I had a computer decent enough to run it at the time, and so I got it, and then I got all my friends to get it, and yeah, so we were just playing that, and then I discovered the modding. I was always into modding, even with other games before that, but you're like Skyrim back in the day, man. Skyrim, I think eventually one was like, oh, get into modding, and Morrowind play. So yeah, FS19 when that first released, That was when I got into Farm Sim, and then ever since then, I've bought it immediately as they've released.
Gotcha. And how did you discover Farm Sim 19?
I don't remember. It must have been like a Steam sale or something. I honestly I can't remember. Maybe someone told me about it. My memory's not the best, so uh, yeah, I'm not sure. But I remember it was when 19 came out, so it was probably a Steam sale or something like that.
Okay. And seeing that you played through, FS19 and FS22, what's that one map that if you could just snap your fingers, bring it into FS25, what was that one map?
Same one as before, Fraser Valley.
Fraser
It was
Valley.
amazing. Fraser Valley by Hilly Farms. Amazing map. It was based in British Columbia off a real place called Agassiz. And it's just outside of Vancouver. So,
Okay.
and it's all like the actual real terrain along this river. Amazing map. It's got it all. It's got everything. So it was a 4X map. And yeah, if you want to see me play it, I've got a playlist there, Hilly Farms, Hilly Homestead, I called it. So after the creator. And we made a little homestead up there in the logging area. And it was a hell of a lot of fun. So, and all the chat members came in and put it in. So I'd love to see that one in 25, but I don't think it's going to happen. Hilly sort of disappeared nowadays, which is sad. But so did a lot of other good modders. Maybe they'll reappear in a year or two.
We'll certainly keep our fingers crossed because, yeah, it seems like I don't know what it is, but it just seems like we're like losing out people left and right. Modders, it's like either stepping away or stepping back for, undetermined amount of time. And man, it's sad,
I think
to think that.
it's the dodgy practices of giants is what's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So, releasing full games when they could have been DLC and charging full price for broken things and having their entire game already paid by big brands before it was even released, and then still not really giving back. It's hard to say that too. I've got to be careful with that one because that's not really fair. But um, chasing profit more than what they were to start with, in my mind, where modding's still encouraged, but it's because they know that that's what gives them the longevity. Where before it was the honor of having people give enough of a shit to make it good.
For sure, for sure. So, do you by chance keep track of the uh, maps and news that are expected to come in the following weeks, like in the future?
Yeah, sometimes. Like a lot of Facebook ones. I'm subscribed to or follow a lot of Facebook ones, a few Patreon modders as well. But overall, not from giants. Only really from the modders.
And is there a map that you're really excited about that's expected to come out for FS25 here in the future?
There's an Australian one called oh crap, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a 16X one, and they've
Wow.
been working on it since the day it dropped. Oh, since the day the editor dropped. So it should be a good one. Keep an eye out for it. So yeah, sorry, I just can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. But I think the group's called Aussie Modding Co-op. If anyone's interested in Australian stuff, that's the place to go on Facebook.
So it's actually pretty funny because I personally got like I guess for lack of better words, a love-hate relationship with Australian maps here in FS, well, just in FS in general. And what I mean by that is I started playing back in FS19, very similar to you. And there was a map that came out called Southern Cross Station. Are you familiar with that one?
Yes. Yep.
I thought that it was going to be one of the coolest maps back when it was first released. And it was one of the earlier released maps for FS19. And I saw that, I downloaded it, I'm sitting there playing on it, I'm having a great old time. And then all of a sudden, you go to one of the sell points, like it had these giant, like infrastructure silos and stuff for like grain deposits and stuff like that. And you start driving to them, and all of a sudden you get behind looking at the grain silos themselves, and then everything disappeared and then flickered
Yeah.
and disappeared. And like it had all those kind of I forget what they're called, but it's those like not collision errors, but just the missing textures that if you go through certain like spatial features on the map, they would just kind of disappear. And I'm like, oh, that's such a disappointment. But you know what? I caught it like very early on kind of thing. It's like I'm sitting there telling myself, okay, well, the map maker's going to go through and they're certainly going to fix it. It's just going to happen with time. It's, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Never happened. Never happened. I was
That's
so disappointed with it because I thought it had potential to be a very great map.
Yep. And you know what it is, man? And I've come to terms with an event like now, being Australian and craving some good Australian maps. But in the making of those games, Australian farming, even though it's one of the greatest and most innovative agricultural sectors in the entire planet, we get missed out on entirely. So those Aussie guys who make those maps, they've got to start with nothing. And I think they're the kinds of people that are the same as me who don't really know how to mod, but are willing to try and learn it to try and have a touch of their home country in game. And so we're quite often getting maps from Australians who it's their first map, or you know, um, it's rushed. They've had to make up entire, like those silo things. They've had to make those themselves because there's no assets to do it. So or every single Aussie map that's come out has been in some way disappointing. But the fact that they exist at all is really testament to their work and their effort, because they got to start from scratch, especially with, like, the trees. I don't know if you can see behind me, but let's have a look at the Australian landscape for a second. Like, the trees are just completely different shape. Like, I'm sitting under an oak tree right now. We don't have these native in Australia. The native trees are like this one up here. I'll show you actually.
Okay.
So you see this? Where are we here? I think it's that one there. That's like a eucalypt tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're very different in every way to like a deciduous tree that you get overseas. And again, it's that evolution, right? So not only that, you get disappointed with the models and textures that they've made, but also just the simple things like the trees can never look the same because they've got to start from scratch with them. I mean, there's just nothing in game by the developers that represents Australia. Anyway, a
Well,
long-winded way of saying, hopefully now we've got from 19 to 25, some more Australian mappers are more experienced, and the ones we get will be of higher quality.
well, and like I said, love-hate relationship, like I mentioned, that it was probably way too strong. And before I even move on, big shout out to all the modders, all the map makers out there, every single one of you, regardless of, how I may feel about, the map, or the mod or whatever the case may be. Thank every single one of you for putting in the effort, because without you, and as Boganery said earlier, the game wouldn't be nothing. Wouldn't be nothing.
Yeah.
We'd get 4 maps and be done with it.
I apologize. I didn't mean to insinuate that you were shitting on them.
Nope,
There's
nope.
absolutely nothing wrong with putting a quality product.
No,
And
not,
yeah,
not
the
at
very
all.
fact
Not at
that you've
all.
got this point is testament to your love for the community and yeah, what you're doing here is amazing, dude. So don't feel bad at all. I didn't mean it that way.
No, no, no,
I hope
no.
it didn't come out.
And I wasn't necessarily saying that because of what you were saying. I'm saying that because I want to make sure that I always sing the praises of the modding community because they are, absolutely fantastic. Like I said, they are the heart and soul of the game, kind of thing. So, uh, even if I come up with some kind of negativity, a negative thing to say about them, like I said, I thought that the map was absolutely gorgeous, and it was just one of those like, it was like nothing else I'd ever seen up until that point because I've never been to Australia, so I just assumed that it was, something that was visually representative of the country kind of thing. And I thought it
Yeah.
was just a very nice layout, very, very awesome. And what was really like awe-inspiring was the massive silo systems that they had. But every time you visit them, they would just kind of, just disappear. And it was Cavalier Roy in the chat. I just saw this said the occluder mesh. So that's the mechanism in which makes the things disappear if they're not made properly. But it's just but yeah, no, like I said, I wasn't saying that because of what you were saying. I was saying that just as a general, like, hey, big shout out to all the modders out there because they're just awesome. But
100%. Yeah. Hopefully some high quality Australian maps. Please.
but oh yeah, look at that. But no, that would be, I think that'd be really cool because there's so many different terrains in Australia. Like it's one of those where like I said, I've never been to Australia, but there's there's the deserts, there's the more kind of like well, I don't want to say the acclimated climates, but kind of like what you're seeing in your scenery there. You got the nice lush cover over you and all that stuff. So I mean, there's a wider range in just one island, to where you're you got so much variety that can be made. So yeah, I would love to see some more love paid to Australia and its stuff as well because that'd just be just be awesome. But I agree with you because it makes sense that if you're having to kind of be visually representative of the landscape, yeah, you're not going to have the assets available to you like you would on, let's say, a UK map or a an American map. That to me makes total sense.
Yeah. And that's all it is. It's like if it had to come from Giants where we had an official Australian map and we had some of those assets that didn't have to be made from scratch, we'd be seeing some incredible Australian maps. And hopefully we are about to. So yeah, keep an eye out for that one. It's a 16 columns map, Aussie modding co-op. Check that one out. It's going to be a doozy.
Well, I mean, like I said, I'll definitely be keeping an eye out for it. Hopefully, I've actually never played on a 16x map before, so I'm only just recently getting into the PC world. So definitely, definitely want to check that one out. Well, number one, I just want to see if my computer can handle it.
Yeah, they're pretty beefy.
So
sorry about the carrying on too.
Nah, it's okay. It's okay. So before FS25 released, we were getting that moment in time where FS22 was winding down, where we were starting to see the hype for FS25 start to ramp up, and we were starting to get that slow drip of information coming from Giants about all the features and stuff that we could expect to see in FS25. What was that one feature that you were most excited over when it was announced?
Probably the ground terrain, because I love SnowRun. I always wanted to see the ground terrain. Like anyone who's spent any time in a tractor, getting bogged and getting it stuck and having to get it out again is half the battle. So, I would say the terrain feature theme, even though the end product wasn't quite what I was hoping, that was probably the bit that I was like, hell yeah. I've actually got a video on my channel if you guys are interested, going back talking about what features I'd hoped for, and it just so happened it was right before the game was announced. So yeah, and I was going through all the things I had a wish for, and yeah, check that one out if you're interested. But yeah. How about you? Which one were you hoping for?
Oh man, I mean, I was most excited for the like the GPS feature, like the smarter AI, being able to set up like the quote unquote the courses and all that stuff throughout the field, and then being able to basically not drive but auto steer in the fields themselves. That was like the one I was so amped up for. It's like, okay, we can actually hopefully just set our workers off and just be able to do other things without finding them in the pond or in the creek or up the side of a mountain or whatever the case may be.
So I can think like coming from console, like that's a big step up. We were lucky on PC you had force play. Excuse
Yep.
me. Yeah. 1 second, mate. I apologize for this. I'll be back in 1 second.
Okay. Oh my goodness, but again, just want to thank everybody for coming out here tonight, hanging out with us here. Big shout outs again to everybody. I see Cavalier Roy stopped in there. Cavalier Roy, thank you so much for coming out. Old Guy Farms, we got Benji, aka Charles. Thank you all so very much. Let's see who else is out there in the chat that I see. Ken Adlam, how's it going there, Ken? Hope you're having a great one as well. We got let's see, I think Nacho and Mandudius. Thank you for stopping in. Let's see. We got anybody else? All right. Thank you all so much for stopping out here and hanging out with us here tonight. So he is back.
My geese are mating in here. They're making up a big ruckus. So, and there doesn't seem to be much I can do about it.
Oh,
I apologize, chat.
no worries, no worries. So
that's just life, dude. You know.
That's the farm life.
Yep.
So we established that that's the one feature that you liked the most that when it was announced. What's that one feature that was announced that you were excited about, but then very quickly soured on?
Well, for me, it was that my AI. I'm going to move away from this.
Okay. Yeah, because we can't hear you.
I'll step back on a nest.
Get out of here, birds.
Yeah. She decided to. So you can see she's a bit cranky.
Interview on the move, everybody. Interview on the move.
Yeah. Apologies, guys.
Oh, no worries, no worries.
That's probably way better. The lighting's not as good there, right?
That's okay. All right.
You can look at the whole.
So what's that one feature that you were excited about but quickly soured on?
I think it was that AI feature, mate. Because we had courseplay on PC, so we were quite spoiled. And I thought the same thing. I was like, well, courseplay got on this really well, you know. For whatever reason, courseplay does not want to cooperate in FS25. Well, as far as I can get it to work, it can't anyway. So, yeah, I'd say that AI thing. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
And what's one thing that's not in FS that you really wish was?
Better livestock. More realistic. Like being able to herd animals from one paddock to the other is what I would really love to see. Like, imagine that. Like, you can get on a motorbike and they say, like, you've eaten out the.
Oh, uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh, there we go. Okay. The video just kind of cut out there for a second.
Sorry, mate.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm running off Starlink. I'm literally in the middle of nowhere, so.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'd like to see herd of livestock. Do you ever play Red Dead?
Oh, I
Red Dead
love Red
Redemption?
Dead. Yeah, I love Red Dead Redemption.
Do you remember in the first one how you could
Oh, for some reason the sorry, but for some reason the mic's cutting in and out. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah. Is that any better?
So far so good.
So far, so good. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm using my phone, which is that better at all?
I think so. I think we solved it there.
Okay,
So
sweet.
you're saying about Red Dead?
So remember in those missions where you could hurt the
Yes.
cattle and you get them. If you implemented something,
Oh, sorry. The mics started cutting out again.
yeah, sorry, man.
See, I wonder if we set the phone down so you're talking more into it rather than.
Then on it. How's that?
Oh, that's much better.
Okay. Yeah, so that was the thing before place of it. They've quite.
Oh, yeah. See, now it's cutting back out again. Huh. I wonder what's going on.
It's probably just the old phone.
Gotcha. So yeah, you were
That's
saying about the kind of herding missions that were in Red Dead.
Yeah, so if you were able to get into Farm Sim, that'd be the go, I reckon.
That would be a really cool feature, being able to move them, actually physically move them from one location. Like, I mean, you can kind of sort of simulate it, in game. You can put them into a trailer, move them from one, stall to the other kind of thing, but it's not the same, like to where, like in Red Dead, like you were pointing out, where you actually can lead them. Some of them could have gone astray and you had to go wrangle them back up and all that.
Yeah. So that's because, like, if you've ever done, that's what you do. You're trying to get them through a game, and that's half the fun. You jump. Yeah.
So what style of farm do you prefer to have? Do you prefer like the big, wide open style of farms where you got the massive fields, massive equipment, or do you prefer like the more small, tight, compact style of farm?
Homesteads, and with a lot of room to move, I guess. Hopefully you can hear me. Maybe you can hear.
Oh, I don't know what happened there, but yeah, again, the mic's cutting out real bad. No, I don't know what's going on. So it's almost like the microphone's muffled, almost like it's being covered by something,
Is that any better?
That's a little bit better, yeah.
Little bit. How about now?
I think so far so good.
So far so good. Yeah, sorry, mate. Sorry, chat.
Let's see. So you were saying what style of farm did you prefer? You were saying the more homestead style, so smaller.
Yeah, I like small homesteads, but maybe with like a good forest area to go logging
Okay.
in the winter. That's one thing, and lots of snow.
Gotcha. And then let's see. We already established the kind of jobs that you like to do. So the question we got asked earlier. Okay, so what is one piece of advice that you would give to somebody who is wanting to start in the content creation sphere?
Do it, and do it now. Stop worrying. Stop worrying about what people think about you. it doesn't matter what people think. You're doing it for you, and that will bring others to you for that reason, because people don't want to see them in their own lives out of you. They want to see what other people are doing, and get ideas, and join in and be a part of something. So there's nothing holding you back. I say it all the time on my streams. Get out there and do it. Every single person should have a YouTube channel. So get out there and do it. Look at my first videos. They're atrocious. They're bad. But you had to do that to get to the point to get better. You're never just going to come out of the gate being the best racers.
Oh, we had you there and now we lost you again. I think the wind blew and then kind of messed it all up.
Yeah. Apologies for the. You got me now?
Yeah, it's a little bit better.
A little bit.
Let's see. So, what
How's
is a little bit better? That's that we're getting there. So
Sorry.
what? No. It's okay. It's okay. What's been the most memorable moment of your content creation career so far?
Probably the getting to 500 and getting to 500 subscribers, or subbies as I call them, and call you guys, and just having the people become members. I never thought that, Well, I never thought I'd have a member, and here we are. I've got all these absolute legends who come regularly and hang out, and it's a great time. So that'd be it. What about you, man? What do you reckon's your biggest thing that you didn't expect?
One of the things that happened to me that I didn't expect, honestly, was the sense of community. I never expected in a million years that this big goofball behind the camera here was going to, go on and start by, recording from a potato and turn it into a channel that has, over 3,000 subs to it and, members and all that stuff. I never expected that. And then, to go beyond that, to never expected to enjoy the live aspect of things the way that I do. Because when I first started the channel, I had zero ambition, zero drive to show my face, to be in front of a camera, anything along those lines. And then kind of got conned into it, quote unquote. And it was one of those where eventually I just decided, okay, this is where the winds are blowing. I'm gonna steer into it and kind of go for it. And I've loved it. I loved it every second of this whole content creation ride that I've been on. And it's because of the community. It's because of the people out there. They make it what it is. So was there any sort of content creator or anybody out there who kind of inspired you to become a content creator?
Yep, definitely. Just like back in the day, watching even PewDiePie back in the day. People like that who are like having fun. And I was like, oh, okay, you can do that. So that was an inspiration even back then. I never thought I'd be doing it. But like nowadays, I guess would be tomato gaming.
Okay. And
Like Rob,
I'm sorry, what was that?
he like sort of light role plays the games he does, and I really like how he does that. So that's probably my biggest inspiration with the way I do things.
Gotcha. And then last question I have here for you for this segment is if you had the ability to make a map of real life. So let's say you had all the skills necessary, you knew how to do the coding, you knew how to do the, the terrain editing, all that stuff. Let's say you were top notch with all that. Where would the
Yep.
map be based off of and why?
It's a hard one because that'd change every week. That would change every week. Yeah, I love the New England. I also love the Pacific Northwest of America. But yeah, and then again, the same vein, Australia. I think like you think like Maine and Vermont and places like that don't get anywhere near the amount of love they should. And even same with the Pacific Northwest over there and Alaska. Like Alaska needs a good, you know. And then Australia. So yeah, it would change every week. I couldn't think I'd be making it. If I had all the skills, I'd be churning them out like, every time, every chance.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the Alaska. There was a map back in FS22. I believe it was called Dredge.
Reg.
Yes, it was Dredge
Yep.
something. I can't remember the rest of it, but it was like I ended up doing like 5 or 6 episodes on that as a let's play, and then 25 released. I was like, okay, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good one. I did enjoy that one.
Yeah. Well, more Alaskan maps, people. Come on.
All right. Well, like I said, that's the last question I have for this segment. Now it's time to set our sights back onto the chat and see what they have to ask here. So first one we have is from Ken Adlam. Ken, thank you so much for your question. Says, who's going to win Bathurst?
No idea. I haven't followed it in years. But yeah, that's where I'm from. So it's going on. I honestly don't know. And all that. If Peter Brock rose from the dead, I'd say Peter Brock. So
Okay.
I haven't got any. Don't bet on it because I haven't got any predictions on Peter Brock rising from the dead and winning the race. So rest in peace.
Oh, Ken, thank you so much for your question. We got one here from Fafo Logging. Says, when are you coming to the dark side and let me teach you the master logging on Farm Sim?
As soon as I get with this new job, I have this income coming in. Get those twin sticks, joysticks happening, and then I'll be joining you on the logging trail, my friends.
Nice. All right, you heard it here, folks. You heard it here. There's going to be more logging here in the future. Just saying.
Yep.
Let's see. Let's do. Next one we have here
Need
is
that
from.
master.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I need the master, Fafo, to teach me.
Well, from what I understand, he's a logger in real life, and like just comes like natural to sit there and do the logging here in game as well. I've actually seen a couple of his streams, and the amount of precision and control that he has, it's ridiculous. It's nuts. I could never in a million years, even with him, the master teaching, could be anywhere like that. I could have, thousand. Ooh, hey, don't drop my phone. I could have, $1,000 setup of of all the peripheral equipment that I could need to be able to do it like the professionals, and no.
Yeah.
Just no.
Oh, that's why he wants me to go on there so he can make me look like an absolute fool. I'm onto you, Doc. I know what you're up to. But that comes
Fafo.
from actually being out there in the woods and doing it most of your life. Yes.
Fafo, thank you so much for your question. We got another one here from Lisa. Says, what is your favorite time to stream?
Well, I prefer to do it in the afternoon, but all of you guys are American, which I'm thankful for because I love American people, amazing people. But so I have to do it early in the morning. But I'd love to do it like in the afternoon. But you guys are all asleep, so I do it when it's best for you, not for me. If I could do it in the afternoon, then I have an excuse to drink beer and carry on. So we're 10 o'clock in the morning. That's alcoholic territory.
Lisa, thank you so much for your question. We got one from Cavalier Roy. Says, I'm honestly surprised with how many love their large equipment, big farming, that there isn't that many Australian maps out there.
Yeah, because the big cropping operations in Australia, they're huge. Think of like Welker Farms, the big buds and things. So those boys, right? The kind of acreage they're doing, that's like pretty stock standard down in some places here in New South Wales. Like that, most properties are 5,000
Wow.
and they're private property. Yeah, we have properties, mainly cattle stations, private properties. And so Australia, that's why both, it's kind of weird about Giants never giving Australia any love. It's because if you want big machinery, check out Western Australia, man. Check out the wheat belt.
Wow. Let's see. Cavalier Roy, thank you so much for your comment there. We got old guy farms says, what is the worst predators do you face with your homestead? I think that's supposed to be predators that you face in your homestead where you are.
Wild cats is probably number one. So feral cats. 2 would be foxes. 3 would be pigs. And not so much anymore. We used to have a bit of a wild dog problem. The wild dogs are an interesting one because out of all of them, that was probably the most dangerous. But everyone's sort of put in together and has sort of stopped that, thankfully. But yeah, so probably the most dangerous would be the wild pigs. We get big boars here. If you ever watch any YouTube Australian boar hunting, you'll know what I'm talking about. And then foxes all the time. If you join the Discord, you'll see even some of the foxes my dog has caught trying to get into the chook house and things like that. And then wild cats, without a doubt, feral cats are the number one biggest nightmare Australia faces. Because Australian animals never evolved a killing machine like the cat is the perfect predator. And so birds, lizards, frogs, anything native to Australia just can't handle them. So we're out there shooting as many of those mongrels as we can. So, yeah, hopefully that answers it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that question there, Old Guy Farms. We got another one here from Ken. Says, just did my first multiplayer in under narrow dock 4. I will put my... okay. Sorry. Just do my first multiplayer.
Yep.
It's under narrow dock 4. I'll put the password on BDD's Discord, so check it out at your leisure. Excellent there, Ken. Thank you so much. We got one here from Rocket Scientist. Says, Bogan, would you consider giving a Arma game a spin on stream?
Maybe not on stream. I've played a lot of Arma back in the day. Arma 2. I played a lot of that. Yeah, I don't know. I even remember the DayZ mod built off Arma. Did you ever play that when the DayZ mod first came out?
No, I'm not familiar with that one.
It's like a zombie survival thing. But yeah, no, I've done plenty of Arma. No, I've never thought about it on stream. Honestly, maybe. I'm open to it, for sure.
Okay, Rocket Scientist, thank you so much for your question there. Got another statement here from Fafo. Says, Thanks for the kind words, BDD. I try to teach what I can. No, I mean, seriously, Fafo, when I've stopped in on your streams here a couple of times, it's nuts. Like, you can very clearly tell like that is what you do in real life, and it very clearly translates out into like the game and the amount of precision and control. Like I said, I I use this. I literally use one of these here, and it's one of those that even with the, like I said, the big O setup and things like that, I couldn't even begin to dream of having that amount of precision and control and being able to do, especially considering all the silly little physics that happen in game. Like, I couldn't imagine trying to do any of that kind of stuff. Nope, 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 nope.
One impresses me is the pencil bit when you grab the logs and then the arm goes out and pencil it. You know, like, have you seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
and they drop it on the ground and it lines all the logs up. That's impressive.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. That was the one. The other thing that really kind of blew my mind exactly was the penciling, and then if I remember correctly, I might be thinking of a different streamer, so feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But they have that one tool where you can take the logs and just drop them in, and it kind of is out like a wing like this. And once you drop it, so imagine like the pair of L's, you drop it and then all of a sudden it collapses in and it smushes all the logs together. I'm pretty sure that was who I saw. I could be wrong, but just having again that amount of precision and control to be able to take this big old bundle of logs, drop it in there like it was nothing, and then pick it right back up and just chuck it around onto the truck, just nuts, absolute crazy. Go check out Fafo logging there if you want to see some really cool stuff that's going to make you feel like you can't do nothing in the world of logging.
Yeah, definitely check out Doc. He's a good guy.
Let's see, and we got a question here from Dust Bunny. Says cats are not native to Australia. They were brought in on ships, weren't they?
Yeah, yeah, they were brought in as house pets, like to get rid of the mice. And people have farm cats, but over 150 years, they're not the same as like your little ginger cat and anything like that. They're very adaptive to their situation. Yeah, they're an incredible hunter. Like, as much as I dislike cats, I have to give them credit for just being the best hunters. They're just too good at it. That's the problem. It wouldn't be a problem if they weren't so damn good at it.
Yeah, no, and that's it too. I was actually reading something a while back that the cat is so agile and has such amazing reflexes that they can actually go toe to toe with a striking snake and not be bitten. That their
Yeah,
fast twitch muscle fibers are so like fast to react that a snake can strike and in that fractions of a second be able to react and dive out of the way to be able to not be bitten. Like, it's just mind-boggling the amount of reaction that you would need to be able to do that.
Yep. Well, feral cats here eat snakes. They eat
Mhm.
everything, absolutely everything. So yeah, it's not uncommon to cut open a feral cat's stomach and find a young snake in there, or bits of snake, bits of birds, bits of frogs, everything you can imagine you find in their guts. They're a mongrel of a thing.
Ugh.
They really are.
I tell you what, for those people who follow my channel knows I hate snakes. I cannot stand them. If I had my way, like, I'll put it to you this way. If a snake were to ever make its way into my home, I would set the home on fire and live out of a cardboard box. That's how much I hate snakes. Like, just
Yeah.
they are the devil's work, in my opinion.
Well, look at St. Patrick. So
Well, I'm
St.
sorry, what was
Patrick,
that?
the Irish. Look at St. Patrick, right? Chasing all the snakes out of Ireland and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. They are the devil. So Adam and Eve, humans have said that about snakes since God, probably before
Oh,
the last ice age.
Yeah, no, it's just not good, not good.
I was saying to you before the stream, if I have to get up and really quickly and I just disappear, it might be because a snake is running across the ground. We're just getting into spring here, and they're coming out of hibernation, and they're everywhere. But I haven't seen any today, so that's good.
And that's what blows my mind too, is that you're sitting here, it's like, oh, like very nonchalantly, might I add, be like, oh, hey, if I just get up out of the blue and just go running off camera, kind of thing, most likely it's because it's a snake. Again,
Yep.
Australia being home to, I believe, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure I'm at least in the ballpark here. 9 out of the 11 top deadliest snakes in the world, and I'm pretty sure the other two are actually around the oceans that are surrounding Australia. Like everything in Australia just wants you just gone. They just want you out of there. I don't get it. It's like they woke up and they
Yeah,
chose violence.
yeah. I don't get why snakes have to be so nasty. Like a single drop of poison can or venom can kill like 10 elephants. Like
Oh,
calm down. Like that's like shooting a rabbit with a 50 cal. You know.
oh,
So
yeah.
if you want to get the job done, you got it.
Oh, yeah, no, it's snakes. No, nope, no. I've told this story so many times before. I'll tell it one more time of the one time I was at my old house and I let my dogs out, and because I live in Florida, we have these things called boofu toads. Now, boofu toads, they're pretty, inconspicuous kind of thing. It's not like they're going to actively come around and hurt you or anything like that, but they're a real nuisance to dogs because if a dog gets a hold of them, they will secrete a toxin into their mouth, and then that basically just makes the animal let them go, kind of thing. But for a dog, it can cause seizures, and like it can kill them if it's not treated right away, kind of thing. So I go outside and I stand outside with my dogs, especially at night. But I'd woken up and I was letting them out early in the morning. But before I'd let them out, I'd gathered up all the stuff to make a nice little bowl of cereal, and it might have been about, I don't know, 8:30 or so, somewhere in that ballpark. And I'm sitting there out in my backyard, and because I'm in Florida, of course, I'm wearing flip flops and my shorts, and I'm sitting there and just enjoying my nice bowl of cereal, and I'm having a really good morning. It's like, oh yeah, you're letting the dogs out, and I'm having my cereal, and then all of a sudden I feel something go over my foot,
Yep.
and I look down at my feet and I see nothing, and as I go to look back up at the dogs, that's when I see a snake go just right on by, and I'm like,
Yep.
I screamed like a girl at a Taylor Swift concert. It was,
Yep.
oh, it was the worst morning I'd ever experienced in my entire life. It's not that it bit me. It's not that it was even dangerous or that it was a poison snake or anything like that. It was just one of the little black racers that we got down here. Um, so it's non-venomous and all that stuff. Don't care. Don't care. It touched me, and I wanted to just chop off my foot right there as it stood because I did not care at that point. That's how irrational I was. I almost threw the bowl of cereal at the snake just to attempt to get it away. That's how
Yeah.
little cares I gave at that point. It was just, yeah,
Well, if you
bad.
go to my YouTube page, watch me chase a couple of snakes and talk to them. I don't touch them. I leave them be. They're just doing their thing. But if you go to the channel, you'll see some red bellies in my chocolates. But here's a story for you. One day I came home, walked in my front door, and sort of my laundry is just inside my front door. And my little dog, the little tiny one, is sniffing around the sink. What's that? And then you can hear it. You can hear this weird sort of rustle of a coiling snake. And I opened up the
Oh.
drawers, and there's a massive red belly black snake under the sink last night. And he'd come up through the pipe. So he'd come from outside up through the pipe, and then when I opened the door, I went back out down the pipe. He'd come in, and so sealed that up, and now it's all good. But yeah, so had them inside the house, and that red belly's pretty venomous. It'll kill young children, dogs, elderly. But like if you're a fit, middle-aged person, you'll just get really, really sick. So, yeah.
Nope. Big bag of nope.
Nope ropes, we call them.
I tell you what, just set the whole place on fire. Just whoosh. And I'd be sitting there like with a cup of coffee. Like, have you ever seen that meme of the dog that's in the middle of the fire, sipping a cup of coffee, and it's like, "This is fine." Yeah, that would be me. I'd be sitting there, and this is fine. Myself, my family will be homeless, but you know what? Don't care.
Yep. Cleanse the earth.
Oh, yes, that's it exactly. Oh, goodness. Farmer Donkey, thank you so much for stopping in. It says, I love that you're outside for your interview. Lovely view.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, it's a beautiful spring day. It's a little bit windy, but look, I'll show you something. Here, I'll try not to touch the phone. All the animals.
Just hanging out in the chair.
There's Randy, old Randy. So the channel knows Randy quite well. He's the one who comes around and crows right when I'm doing it. So all my channel knows Randy. He's getting old. And then we got Betty White, and then it's Henrietta who was. So yeah, beautiful spring day out here. What better way to sit down and have a chat?
Oh, that's definitely a good way to have a chat. Let's see. So we got Dust Bunny says, aren't the majority of bugs, spiders, and snakes poisonous? I mean, as a general statement, probably. Yeah. But I know that. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, some. Like the ones that are really nasty. But I wouldn't say the majority, no. Like the vast majority are scary looking, but not too bad. But there are some really nasty ones.
See, the worst snake that we've got down here in Florida is called the coral snake. And the reason I say that that's the worst, I mean, we've got, several species of venomous snakes. We got like the diamondback and things like that. But the reason that I think that the coral snake is the worst of them all is because it forces you to remember a nursery rhyme in order to detect whether or not it's deadly or not. So the rhyme goes, red on black, friend to Jack. Red on yellow, kill a fellow.
Interesting.
And the worst,
obviously they're red and yellow, are they?
Yeah, so they're red, black, and yellow is the three main colors, and they're like banded. So think of like just red, then further on the snake black, then further on yellow, further on red, like so on and so forth. It's just the kind of. But yeah. The worst part about it is that the reason that nursery rhyme, or that not nursery rhyme, but that rhyme exists is because there's multiple species. So the coral snake is the deadly one. That's the red on yellow.
Yeah.
That'll kill you. But then there's others that imitate it to make it to where you're not going to mess with it. And those ones are the red on black. And I forget what ones those are called. But so you got to sit there and be like, this snake is approaching me. Now let me think of this nursery rhyme real quick and be like, okay, red on black, friend of Jack. And it's like, oh wait, no, tagged, and oh wait, no, now I'm screwed.
So I think I've seen them before. They got a black head, right? And then the band start, and the black tail.
Yep, exactly.
I've seen them, on TV shows and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wondered
that's
about them. So some mimic the venomous ones to stay safe. I guess.
yep, yep. So they're not messed with. Uh,
Isn't evolution?
it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Let's see. Got another one here from Dust Bunny. Says, "Do you have any problems with snakes eating your chickens?" Oh, Boganery, you still there?
Oh, yep.
Oh, there it goes. Okay, it caught up. We had a small
Okay.
freeze there.
Yeah, no worries. Um, so yeah, not so much the chickens. They don't want anything to do with the chickens. They love the eggs and they love the mice that hang around the chook shed. So that's why you got to be really vigilant with keeping on top of the mice in Australia, because if you got a lot of mice, you got a lot of snakes.
Gotcha. That makes a ton of sense right there. Let's see. Got one more here from Dust Bunny. Says, "How do you keep the bugs, spiders, and snakes out of your house and or outdoor buildings?"
You can't. So we've got one
Oh,
here
that
called,
just
again,
sent
if you go,
shivers up my spine.
so we got one here about the size of my palm called huntsman spiders, and look it up. Uh, so they're everywhere. They're in my house all the time. So I've had them crawl over my face while I've been sleeping and things like that. Uh, if you go to my channel, you can see I put my hand next to one that's crawling in. They look scary. They look terrifying, but they're actually pretty timid. So um, they're like a tarantula. Imagine a tarantula. Yeah, huntsman spider. So they're about as big as my palm, generally, and they're in everyone's home here. So they're everywhere in my place. But they do a good job. They're called the huntsman because they eat other spiders. So my kids are terrified of them, and my missus is terrified of them. So I'm usually the spider get rid of guy, the spider removalist. But yeah, no, another nasty one is the white-tail spider. We get them all the time. You can't. They're bugs and spiders and things are just part of your life here. If you go to the big city, you don't have to worry so much. Like you'd be lucky to see anything inside a concrete jungle, as I call them. But out anywhere out rural, you're gonna come across it, whether you're camping or living. So you just got to deal with it. Just the number one thing to remember is, yes, everything's out to kill you, but they're more scared of you than you are of them. I know that's cliche to say, but it's 100% true. They only want to kill you if you're fucking with them. Oh, if you're messing with them. So if you're messing around with a dangerous snake and he bites you, you know, then you get, you know, you're going to get bit. FAFO.
Yep, yep. And we're not talking about logging either.
No.
Uh, Dust Bunny, thank you so much for your questions. We got one here from MacGyver. Says, "Got to keep the Boganery in check. British said the animals are the criminal wardens. Let's get out of here."
Oh, Mac. He's the one. Mac is like my main moderator. He always keeps me in line. When the ADHD kicks in and I'm like, oh, bird. Like, up, Bogan.
I don't know why, but when you did that, have you ever seen the movie Up?
Yeah. Squirrel.
Squirrel.
That's a running joke on my channel, man.
Oh, is it?
Because oh, yeah. That's what, 100%. That's a running joke. When I'm like, oh, talking about something and I'll go off on something completely different. Squirrel. So, yeah.
That's one of my wife and mine's favorite movies to watch together, just because of the whole premise behind it, kind of thing. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely, I have those kind of moments too. It's where I'm just kind of in one vein and then just just made a left at Albuquerque.
No, 100%.
MacGyver, thank you so much for your question. We got one here from Fafo says, only thing I know, Bogan, to be scared of is trying to follow me around SnowRunner.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Oh, goodness. Fafo, thank you so much. We got one from Majors Gaming says, snakes I can handle. It's the earwigs that give me the heebie-jeebies. Oof. Yeah, earwigs.
Yeah, earwigs. Yeah. You get like if you grow a vegetable garden, you're gonna have earwigs. So, have you ever seen an earwig?
I think so. Aren't they the ones with like the pinchers, like on the front of them? Yeah.
Yeah, no, we get them everywhere.
Gotcha. Majors, thank you so much. We got one here from Charles Benji. We got the corn snake is the non-point. Yes, corn snake. Thank you. Yes, that is exactly right there, Charles. Thank you. Let's see. We got Dust Bunny says, she says this is she says this is me having a conversation. Squirrel, rabbit, butterfly.
I feel your pain.
Dust Bunny, thank you so much. We got another one here from Fafo. It says, can you tell us why you call yourself the Iron Roo?
Oh, I don't call myself the Iron Roo. That's a nickname that the Blue Zack came up with me for because I was playing a trucking game. It was an Australian trucking game, and in that they had this character who was like, "No worries, Iron Roo." It was like terrible voice acting, and I was laughing so much. And then all of a sudden, Blue Zack started calling me the Iron Roo. Next minute, I've got songs written about it. Everyone's calling me Iron Roo, so it's just sort of stuck.
Oh, that's hysterical. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so that appears to be the last question. Again, thank everybody so very much for all your questions here tonight. Greatly appreciate every single one of you. So now we're going to move into our third and final segment called That's a Silage Wrap. This is where we're going to start closing things out. We have gone on for 3 hours, and I do apologize for just completely blowing by that 2-hour mark. It's been a great conversation to have with you here tonight there, Boganery. Thank you so much for coming out here tonight.
No worries, mate. Thank you to Nacho for linking us up, I guess, or pointing me on your radar. It has been a great chat. I've been thoroughly enjoying it. The only thing I'm really thirsty for is a beer because I finished that up an hour ago. The Australian's really coming out.
Oh man, yes. Big shout out to Nacho Cast for, setting this up and, putting Boganery here on my radar. Thank you so very much, Nacho. Greatly appreciate it. And I want to thank everybody who stopped out here tonight. Now, this is actually, before we do that, do you want to remind us where we can find you?
If you go to my channel, there's a Discord link under the videos. Well, actually, did I share the Discord link with you? I can't remember if I did or not.
No, you said it was I think you were saying it was being set up and then we didn't get it out there. But if you share with me, I'll add it in there.
Yeah, I will. So if you go to the video that's coming up tomorrow, I'm going to be live streaming tomorrow. Under that video is the new tavern, the Discord. Come along. There's heaps of good people in there. It's a good time. It's just picture it like a pub, but virtual. So we've got the bar stools where you can sit around, share what you want at your own place. If you're going live, let everyone know. It's just like a little community that, a whole bunch of friends. So come along. And then other than that, it's just the YouTube channel, links down there. And before anything else, I want to say a big thank you to you, Big Daddy Dave. Absolute legend, mate. It's been really awesome sitting down and having a chat with you.
Well, it was absolutely my pleasure. Again, thank you so much for coming out here today. And I had an absolute blast. And you know what? I really hope that everybody here today enjoyed this. If you did, I'm going to set my sights onto you all for 1 second here and ask, if you did enjoy this and you want to see more of it, and you have a suggestion as to people that you want me to try and reach out to bring onto the channel, feel free to message me, whether it's on any of my socials, Facebook, Discord, X, any of them. Feel free to reach out to me and let me know who they are, because unfortunately I cannot know everybody who's out there. There's a ton of us, whether they're modders, map makers, content creators, whatever it is that they do within the farming simulator space. Go ahead and let me know who they are, and I will do my absolute best to get them onto the stream. Now, also, if you're somebody who fits this mold and want to come onto the stream, feel free to reach out to me. Let me know that, hey, I'm interested in, joining you for the show. Don't be shy. I will absolutely, consider putting you on there. The only requirement that I have is that, well, two requirements actually. Number one, like I mentioned, farming simulator, you have to have some kind of connection to farming simulator. Modders, map makers, content creators. I'll even take farmers, like legit farmers, because without you, we wouldn't have farming simulator. The other thing, got to be over the age of 18. That's it. If you're over the age of 18 and you are within the farm sim space, reach out to me and we'll go from there. But again, Boganery, thank you so much for coming out here tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Had a wonderful time with you here tonight.
Cheers, man. Thank you very much. And thanks everyone in chat for hanging out too and coming across. Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. And like I said, I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please show us by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things. The algorithms enjoy you doing the show. You're engaged with this channel, enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Take care. Boganery, hold on just 1 second. I'll catch you after the outro. All right. Take care, everyone.
This is Farm Sim Talk with BDD. Let's roll.
Out here in the country, where the roads run wide, there's a world behind the pixels that we're bringing to the light. From maps to mods, to the rigs we drive, we're talking to the folks who keep this farm life alive. It's Farm Sim Talk with BDD. Come pull up a chair and ride along with me. Stories from the makers, the builders of the scene. Come pull